This young man just had to hike up a mountain, and the next day, he set a new record on the entire server. Even the girl who had looked down on him the day before took the initiative to willingly hug Ling Che. In the novice area, his appearance immediately drew the attention of all the top players in the world. A level 1 character like Ling Che not only single-handedly defeated the hardest boss, but also left behind a record that no one could break. Some people even wrote his skills into a manual and included it in textbooks. However, not long ago, Ling Chi was just a failure, because this is the era of the awakened. Under the influence of the Heavenland, the sooner a player reaches the maximum level, the higher their chance of awakening and becoming an awakened. This is a huge leap, allowing them to bring the skills of their profession from the Heavenland into the real world. The younger or stronger an awakened is, the more they are valued by the country. They receive better treatment and advanced education than ordinary people, becoming the elite of the elite. But Ling Chu started playing Heavenland a full year later than others. Although he diligently studied strategies every day with his sky-high talent, resources were monopolized, so there were many things Ling Che couldn't catch up on. It could be said that it was almost impossible for a new player like him to become an awakened. That's why at this moment Ling Che was being bullied by a foul-smelling guy at school who had been beating him up for 3 years simply because he was one of the players who couldn't awaken to become an elite. Late at night, Ling Ke managed to struggle free and go home, his body covered in wounds. After showering, Ling Che still decided to log into the world of Heavenland. In here, Ling Che kept the same nickname as his real name. His profession was a thief level 120. As usual, Ling Che stepped into the teleportation array to go to a dungeon. But just then, as others were about to follow him, a violent fluctuation of energy erupted from the teleportation array. This had never happened before. They feared something was wrong with the system, so no one dared to take another step. Meanwhile, Ling Che, who had already stepped through, didn't appear on the mission map as usual. At this point, he also felt the chaotic wave of energy. What was even more terrifying was that his body was starting to disintegrate. This was clearly a major bug. Ling Che hurriedly pressed the logout button, but he couldn't exit the game. His body disintegrated faster and faster. At this point, Ling Che didn't even have hands to press the logout button anymore. He could only manage a self-deprecating smile. His luck was already terrible, and now he had to encounter a bug mid-game. In the moment before he completely disappeared, Ling Che suddenly felt his heart become incredibly calm. He didn't understand why, but he felt as if he had been liberated. He didn't know how much time passed before Ling Che woke up, but he felt something was not quite right, because his body felt strange, as if it didn't belong to him. Ling Sa saw a mirror at the head of the bed, and picked it up to look. This was clearly his face from Heavenland. "Hey kid, you're awake." Suddenly a voice from the side startled Ling Che. "Ah, there's someone here, who are you? Did I scare you? It seems you don't remember anything, do you?" It was an old man with white hair and a beard. He said that while picking things up in an alley, he had found Ling Che and brought him home. Ling Che had been in a coma for a whole day and night. After that, the man ladled a bowl of soup for him. And right at that moment, the TV was showing news related to Heavenland. Ling Chi immediately pricked up his ears to listen. Several countries have collaborated to create a world called Heavenland. It has been open for service for 3 months now. Currently, it has attracted countless players, and the number of users has reached an unprecedented record. Ling Chi thought he had misheard. What Heavenland was only released 3 months ago. This time Ling Che was truly shocked because the year 2060 was 3 years ago. He even carefully asked the old man again and received the same answer. This year was 2060. "Kid, are you so hungry you've become muddle-headed?" Ling Che felt as if he'd been struck by lightning. This wasn't good. He had traveled from Heavenland back to the real world 3 years in the past. "Ah, no, why isn't it good? This is more than good, it's great." It seemed that God had truly heard his prayers and given him a chance to start over. Great now is the time to fulfill the desires I couldn't in my past life. That was to enter the top 100 super players, then become the strongest awakened. Found his own guild, and take back everything he wanted but couldn't have in his past life. And the first thing to do to successfully carry out this plan was to fill his hungry stomach. The old man seemed to be a kind person, so Ling Che didn't hold back and devoured the food on the table like a hungry tiger. Eat slowly, no need to rush. There's still more in the pot." As the old man spoke, he swiftly ladled another bowl of soup for Ling Che. Then suddenly remembering something, he asked, "That's right, young man, are you living alone?" Ling Che, who was eating like a starving wolf, paused after hearing this question, and his expression became weary and tired. Before he time-traveled from childhood until now, it seemed he had always been alone. "Yes, I'm all by myself," Ling Che replied after a long pause. The old man sensitively noticed the sadness in his voice. Seeing that Ling Che didn't even know where he was or what year it was, and was all alone, the old man told him to stay at his house. Ling Che was a bit surprised by the old man's offer, especially when he saw that his host's circumstances were far from well off. The old man didn't hide the fact that he lived in a slum, which was also a shelter for people who could no longer continue living in the neighboring city. To put it bluntly, this was a place where the poor gathered. The more the old man spoke, the sadder he became, telling him that he also had a son. It was just that his son had spent all his savings just to buy the login equipment for Heavenland. Then because he was too destitute, he had left this world. Before that unfortunate event happened, the old man's son had also held the hope of becoming an awakened, helping his father enjoy his old age. But reality was too cruel, so in the end, he left his old father to live alone in this world. How can reality be so easily changed by a game like that? My son was so foolish. It's possible, you know, Ling Che suddenly replied. If you can become an awakened, you can really change your life. In the future, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that Heavenland is a second world. Your son wasn't really lying to you. Ling Di's expression at that moment was incredibly firm, reminding the old man of what his son would have looked like if he were still alive. Seeing his appearance, the old man guessed that he was still of school age, so he once again invited him to stay at his house. This time Ling Che agreed. After dinner, while he was washing the dishes, the old man remembered something else, then opened a cabinet. "That's right, I have something I can give you. My son is gone now, so keeping it is useless." The thing he took out from the cabinet truly made Ling Xi's eyes light up. Because it was a first-generation game connection helmet. Although it was the thing that had taken his son away, seeing the passionate look his son used to have, and Ling Qi's look now, the old man believed it wasn't a useless thing. Besides, it would be a waste to throw it away, so giving it to Ling Qi was the wisest decision. He took the gaming helmet, his eyes seeming to spark with fire. "Don't worry, old man. I will not only continue your son's dream, but I will even surpass it. Everything started anew from here." In his sleep that night, Ling Shu immediately logged into Heavenland. This time he still set the character's name to his real name, then chose the human race because after all the appearance of humans was the most comfortable. Despite having a normal physical constitution, their intelligence was supernormal. Furthermore, after setting up the character, they would possess 3 points of intelligence and 3 points of perception. In the future, each time they leveled up, they would get 1 additional point in each of these stats. Besides humans, there was also the elf race, which had always boasted of being the noblest race, possessing a refined and beautiful appearance, a nimble body, and a talent for archery and close-quarters combat. When they first start, they have 3 points in agility and 3 points in charisma. In the future, each level up will grant an additional point in these 2 categories. However, Ling She had never liked the elves' ears, so he skipped them. Next was the Beastman race. Their appearance was somewhat rough, and they were a race famous for their strength, possessing explosive power. Their sturdy bodies could withstand many attacks. They start with 3 points in strength and 3 points in defense. After leveling up, they get 1 point in the above 2 categories, similar to the previous 2 races. Because the attribute points were distributed differently, the choice would have a certain impact on the profession. The 5 basic professions included warrior mage, archer thief, and priest. For example, the thief profession that Ling Qi chose in his past life had up to 3 different schools. Most who chose the human race became shadow thieves who excelled at assassination and underwater stealth. The elves' choice was the swift thief characterized by speed and flexibility. The beastman's choice was the dragon thief who excelled in offense and direct confrontation. Ling Shu didn't want to waste his combat experience from his past life, so he still chose the thief profession. Immediately, he received his first active skill, backstab. In addition, the system also granted 12 free basic attribute points for the player to distribute themselves. Ling Zhao decided to put them all into agility. After all, in this life, he needed to be sharper to be able to arrange a plan for the next stage. After finishing the attribute combination, the system equipped Ling Che with the human thief's attire, and his new journey in Heavenland was about to truly begin. Just like in his past life, Ling Che was transported to the human city, the capital Casfa. In his past life, he was a year late to the game. This time, he had to seize the opportunity. But what Ling Che didn't expect was that in this life, even though the game had only been out for 3 months, the number of novices was so overwhelming that they were all jostling each other to get missions. Ling Che didn't dare to delay. Now time was gold for him. The first thing Ling Che did was open the system to check the current top player. And before him appeared a familiar ID. Silent Shadow, a level 12 warrior. It's a familiar face again. In his past life, this player always hid his information and no one could find detailed data about him. He also didn't join any guilds, even though he was the strongest player that guilds vied to recruit. Silent Shadow was also known by another name, the Emperor, and he always held the top spot on the leaderboard in the previous life. As expected, a top player is always a top player no matter the era. Looking at it this way at this point, the top players from his past life were gradually taking over the single profession leaderboards. The legendary guilds from his past life were also just beginning to show their extraordinary talents. As for Ling Che, it seemed he had to speed up. Although he was still 3 months late, he now had the experience from his past life. Becoming an unrivaled top player was entirely possible. He decided to speed up the process to become the first awakened. Ling Se stepped through the teleportation array, arriving at the first location. Even though he had been to this village countless times in his past life, every time he appeared here, he still felt overwhelmed. This was the novice village in the capital Casfa. The atmosphere was extremely bustling. Everyone was busy accepting missions, looking for teammates to clear stages together. Among them, Ling Che noticed a guy selling equipment. The guy advertised that for just 1 novice silver coin, he could sell players equipment, weapons, and clothes that were 1 tier stronger than the default equipment. Because the offer was so tempting, many people flocked to buy from him. In his past life, Ling Che had also spent a few dozen coins to buy a level 1 thief's dagger, which was only 2 attack points stronger than the default novice dagger. Back then, he thought he had found a bargain. Thinking back now, he was really too naive. The types of equipment that the fraudulent merchant was selling could all be found on the level 3 map. So in this life, he wouldn't be so easily fooled. This novice village was an area where only players from level 1 to 5 could pass through. After leaving this area, they couldn't enter again unless there was a special mission. Therefore, Ling Che had to make the most of his time to level up. While deep in thought, he suddenly bumped into a pink-haired elf girl. "Big brother, can you take me with you? I'll be very obedient and listen to you." These words weren't directed at Ling Che. He just happened to be passing by when she was forming a team. The girl's target was a level 4 warrior. Elf players were indeed very beautiful and easily charmed people. In this novice village area, players who reached level 3 or 4 were already quite famous, which is why they were often clung to by people asking to join their teams. As for level 5, the highest level in the novice village, they were like gods. In Heavenland, you could form a team at level 1 as long as the level difference did not exceed 2 levels. Therefore, high-level players in a group often got to know and pull new players into their teams. This meant that level 1 players could be grouped with the highest level players who were at level 3. The maximum number of people in a group was also determined by the team leader's level. But the main reason for the phenomenon of high-level players power leveling was that the missions available to novices were too crowded. It was estimated that for a single level 1 monster, you'd have to queue up to fight for it. The game Heavenland did not have a fixed main storyline. Countless missions were issued based on individual abilities and, more importantly, the player's exploration and development. Therefore, it wasn't difficult to level up in the early stages of the game. The difficulty lay in not being able to get any monsters, which slowed down leveling. But that was only for newbies. For someone with experience from a whole past life like Ling Che, it was different. He already had the fastest way to reach level 5. Ling Tu walked straight to the market street to find the shop for novices. The owner was a beautiful woman, but he didn't have time to admire her. Ling Se wanted to buy a basic scroll of speed and a one-time use grappling hook. As soon as he finished speaking, The other players present laughed at Ling Chi, calling him a stupid novice. You think just because you're a thief buying a basic scroll of speed means you can reap rewards. You think this is a 1/level 999 game, huh? These two items have probably used up all your starting capital already. You'd be better off giving the money to me. I'll help you level up once. Ling Xi ignored the jeers in his ears. The shopkeeper gave him the items he needed. Regarding the basic scroll of speed, it was a prop that did not require a level. Its effect was to increase movement speed by 12% for 9 seconds. It was a one-time use item costing 30 coins. Next was the one-time use grappling hook, also a prop with no level requirement. Its effect was that it could latch onto a protrusion and pull the user towards that position. Its length was 3 meters, and the item's usage time was 30 seconds. This was also a one-time use consumable item and cost up to 60 coins. These two items cost 90 coins. A rather large sum for a level 1 novice like Ling Se. But he ignored the taunts of the other players, just took his items and quickly left. He originally hadn't intended to pay any mind to these people, but they were all running their mouths, so Ling Che wanted them to suffer a major blow at the start of the game. He suddenly stopped, then turned his head and asked, "I'm asking you, how long did it take for you to reach your current level?" "It took me 15 days to gain 3 levels, so what, you think it's easy for novices to compete for monsters in this game?" One of them replied aggressively. Another was more cautious and spoke more humbly. "It took me 13 days to gain 3 levels, averaging 1 level every 4 days. My speed is considered not bad, since many people take 10 days just to gain 1 level. Based on what they said, Ling Se estimated that in 2 to 3 days, they still wouldn't have surpassed level 5 to leave the novice village. He then told them they'd meet again tomorrow. Just 1 day later, all of them would be left dumbfounded. With the items in hand, he made a beeline for the Sunset Peak mountain range on the outskirts of the capital Kasfa. This was a vast mountain range located northeast of the city. Because the mountain peaks shot straight into the sky, it seemed to touch the stars, and even the sun was just at the edge of the wall, hence the name Sunset Peak Mountain Peak. As expected, there weren't many people here, but because there were few people, there would be fewer loudmouths. Ling Shou was very pleased that he could level up in peace. A few other players had also accepted a mission here. However, after the NPC issued the mission, they all thought it was impossible to complete. Because this mission had a 10-minute time limit, and within those 10 minutes, one had to climb to the top of the mountain. With the current speed of most players, let alone 10 minutes, even 20 minutes was impossible. Moreover, the lower half of the mountain had a path, but the upper half was a broken cliff. One had to go around the mountain on the other side to continue climbing. The process of taking this detour took at least 6 minutes, and there was no trail. While they were cursing, the mission designer Ling Che had already reached the foot of the mountain. He quickly found the NPC who issued the mission, Elder Sunset Peak. "Hello, young adventurer. Do you want to see the scenery from the mountaintop?" the old man said to Ling Se. "Yes, esteemed elder. I came here precisely to appreciate the scenery from this mountaintop." The fact that a level 1 thief like Ling Chi confidently accepted a mission that seemed impossible to overcome quickly attracted the attention of the guys from before. They stopped cursing the mission designer and instead turned to laugh at Ling Chi for being a fool, not knowing his own level and strength, a true idiot. Ling Sa was already used to such disdain. How strong he was, one look would tell. So he confidently accepted the mission. Earlier, he had added all 12 points to the agility attribute precisely for this day, trying to maximize his physical agility and supplement his speed with props as quickly as possible. This special mission, he had experienced it many times in his past life, but unfortunately, he had to give up in the end. If the mission challenge was successful, the final reward would be a set of special equipment. Ling Ta was extremely confident. This would be his first step to success. After pressing accept, Ling Chu didn't dare to delay for a second. He immediately rushed up the mountain trail at a godlike speed, and the timer also started counting down. Ling Chu's speed was astonishingly fast. The few players at the foot of the mountain were also watching him, mostly with the thought of seeing Ling Chi fail and lose face. Then they discovered something was not right. Ling Su was not taking the trail that led up to the middle of the mountain. Instead, he rushed into the dense forest beside it. Everyone thought Ling Che had gone crazy, but only he knew why he made that choice. Although the mountain trail was safe and convenient, the road was winding. In contrast, the path through the dense forest, though overgrown, was the shortest straight line, saving the most time. The key reason no one chose this forest path was because the system would randomly place traps in it. A wide-mouthed grass monster. In his past life, Ling Che had learned the route that a thief could take to climb the mountain at the fastest speed. He had run that route countless times, and that wide-mouthed grass monster, which seemed like a hindrance, was actually the crucial key to reaching the mountaintop at the fastest speed. At this moment, the wide-mouthed grass monsters had appeared. They were just level 1 monsters that specialized in causing trouble. Although they didn't pose a great threat to travelers if they gathered into an army, they could hold back an adventurer for a relatively long time. Lingsa took out his thief's dagger and activated his backstab skill. This skill allowed him to disappear in an instant, then reappear behind the opponent in the next, suddenly attacking their weak point. The damage would be based on the degree of completion of the move, creating damage for the player, plus the weapon's damage. This skill consumed 30 mana, had an attack range of 1 meter and a cooldown of 20 seconds. Ling Su's ultimate goal was not to kill many monsters, but to use them to move quickly up the mountain. To put it simply, every 20 seconds. He would use the backstab skill, suddenly appearing behind them, thus saving a lot of distance. It was just that after attacking one or two, Ling Chi also attracted the hatred of more wide-mouthed grass monsters. They appeared in increasing numbers, but conveniently this was exactly what he wanted. Just like that, Ling Chi consistently used the skill every 20 seconds, and the distance up the mountain was shortened significantly as a result, and could only sit and chat, speculating on how many seconds Ling Chi could last. They thought that at most Ling Chi could only hold on for a minute. But by now 3.5 minutes had passed, and he had already approached the broken section of Sunset Peak Mountain Peak. From here, Ling Gao had to go in another direction to find the rest of the route. After a beautiful jump, he found the place he needed to find. Going around this mountain range in another direction would take at least 10 minutes. But if there was a way to cross the chasm in front of him, the mountaintop would be right before his eyes. The countdown timer had 6 minutes and 10 seconds left. Although he hadn't used up half the time, Ling Chu couldn't linger. He remembered that at the chasm there would be a gathering of a whole nest of grass monsters. After scanning the area with his eyes, Ling Che finally found that nest of monsters. This was the moment for the grappling hook and the speed scroll to show their use. Ling Se activated the scroll first, then combined it with his backstab skill. He stepped on one grass monster after another to gain momentum, using their bodies to jump high up. His speed had now reached its limit, and Ling Che felt full of hope. Now he just needed to get through this layer of fog, and a vine hanging on the cliff face would appear. This was also the decisive key to whether he could reach the mountaintop. Ling Se judged the distance perfectly, then threw the grappling hook from his hand. The prop worked to its full potential, successfully hooking onto the vine protruding from the cliff, pulling him straight up to the mountaintop. This was indeed a dangerous test, but Ling Chi's calculations from the beginning had been extremely precise, without a single misstep. There was only one final step left, and that was the fated wide-mouthed grass monster that appeared on the towering cliff face. Just like in his past life, it appeared right in front of Ling Che. And conveniently, at this moment, the cooldown for his backstab had just ended. He used it as the final stepping stone, and successfully set foot on the mountaintop, when the countdown timer still had a full 5 minutes and 17 seconds left. Congratulations, you have completed the mission to climb the mountain. Time 4 minutes and 43 seconds. The system sent a notification. At this moment, the elder NPC also appeared before Ling Chi. I didn't expect you to use less than half the time to climb to the mountaintop. Young adventurer, you stepped through the layers of fog and climbed straight to the top in one go. It seems your determination is very strong, isn't it? Yes, Ling Chu answered honestly, even though he was facing just an NPC. If in this life I still don't have the determination to climb the mountain at all costs, then how can I reach the very peak? You are indeed an interesting young man. In that case, you are now qualified to explore the power of brilliance, Elder Sunset Peak suddenly said. This plot twist was beyond Ling Chi's expectations, because his time to clear the stage was less than 5 minutes. He had inadvertently triggered Elder Sunset Peak's hidden mission called Proof of Brilliance. The elder said that Ling Xi's determination reminded him of himself when he was young. As he spoke, he took out a golden badge from his breast pocket. The system explained that this item was the Proof of Brilliance. an ancient badge of Chen Feng, which seemed to contain a history and a mystical journey, including the tempering and legendary experiences during the training of a great warrior. Finally, it was entrusted to the brilliance of that year. Ling Shua took the badge, officially activating the hidden mission. The system required him to find clues and explore the secret behind this badge. As for detailed instructions, there were none. It seemed to be a reconnaissance-type mission. In his past life, Ling Che had never heard of this mission, so he didn't have the slightest clue. Elder Sunset Peak continued saying this was a reward based on his mountain climbing performance with his profession. Seeing the items that appeared before him, Ling Che could only stare with wide eyes in amazement. Because it was a set of top-tier gear, a special equipment set for completing the mountain climbing mission. The attributes of this gear set included two categories. The first was peak strength, which could deal 100% damage to all monsters level 5 and below. The next was peak body, which made all monsters below level 5 only able to deal 1 point of damage to him. This gear set and its accompanying attributes would disappear after Ling Che reached level 5. In the early stages of Heavenland, this was something that novices couldn't get, even if they begged for it. Ling Chi immediately put it on. It was indeed much more impressive than the basic novice gear. After the mountain climbing mission ended, Elder Sunset Peak said it was time for him to leave. Ling Se guessed that the Elder's identity was not simple, so he wanted to ask a few more questions. But the Elder just shook his head. "We will meet again in the future, if you can maintain your determination to climb to the peak and stand at the top of the world. All right, now let me see you off for a bit, so those people who look down on you at the foot of the mountain will be left dumbfounded." After saying that, Elder Sunset Peak grabbed Ling Xi's shoulder, and then the two of them turned into a streak of light and shot down. The people below had been waiting for nearly 10 minutes without any news, so they assumed Ling Che had already failed, and fearing to lose face had taken a detour. But just then, he and the esteemed Elder descended from the sky like two shooting stars. The people there initially thought a bug had appeared in the game. But when the dust and smoke cleared, they were shocked to find that the one who had just landed was the little thief they had been looking down on. Ling Ce was now wearing a full set of top-tier gear, and his aura immediately became much more imposing. In addition, his gaze was truly intimidating. The impact of the landing was so great that it attracted many players to come and watch. When they saw he had completed the mountain climbing mission, everyone was endlessly amazed. The pink-haired elf girl who had disdained Ling Ce earlier, calling him a trashy thief, now opened her mouth to spout words like thief big brother, wanting to cling to this big thigh for easy leveling. But of course, Ling Che couldn't be bothered to pay attention to her. He just felt a headache, because this way of returning was a bit too flashy and seemed to have caused quite a commotion, especially after that Elder Sunset Peak said he would only see him this far, then vanished without a trace. In the end, he still had to deal with this crowd himself, seeing the way the Elder opened an extremely large teleportation array to leave. Not only Ling Che, but the other players also realized that this NPC's background was not simple at all. However, when he disappeared, the crowd's attention once again focused entirely on Ling Chi. Some other players realized that the gear on him seemed to be the reward for a unique mission. Generally speaking, missions in Heavenland were divided into 3 main types. The first was reward missions, which were also the normal missions or dungeons that all players received. The rewards were mainly experience, money, skills, props, or equipment. The second type was bizarre missions. This type was mainly encountered through luck. After a player met a specific NPC or received specific information, they could trigger the mission. The rewards were naturally higher than reward missions, usually being special attributes or special items. The last type, and the one they just mentioned, was the unique mission. This type was very special because as soon as someone completed it, the mission would disappear forever, and those who came after would have no way to get it. And each type of mission mode would also have 2 completion forms: individual missions and team missions. Apart from the fixed difficulty of unique missions, the difficulty of the other 2 mission types was divided into 5 choices: low grade, mid grade, high grade, special grade, and the highest, frenzy grade. So it was no wonder the gear on Ling Te looked so special, because it was the reward for a unique mission. Ling Chu paid no attention to the crowd staring at him as if he were a tiger in a zoo. Instead, he paid attention to the last words of Elder Sunset Peak before he stepped into the teleportation array. Goodbye, chosen descendant of the Brilliant One. Lingse didn't know what a Brilliant One was, but after Elder Sunset Peak said this, his hidden mission was updated. Who exactly is the Brilliant One, mentioned by that mysterious person, and what is the connection to the old badge? Please search for information related to the Brilliant One and explore the unknown journey. The current mission completion progress was 5%. The system also announced that this was a unique mission with a still unknown difficulty. It seemed it needed to be activated to a certain level to find out. Lingse didn't care much. After all, the most important thing right now was still to level up. He was about to leave when the pink-haired elf girl clung to him. She used her race's strength beauty to try and charm Lingche, her goal very clear. She wanted him to power level her. Lingxiao hadn't even had time to react when her former teammates exploded. Hey, didn't we just say we'd power level you? Now just because he completed one unique mission, you're tucking your tail and running after him, you're such a flirt. The elf girl wasn't the type to take it lying down. Hearing them call her a flirt, she lifted her skirt and started a fight. And the guys on the other side were determined not to back down, leading to a very troublesome squabble. Ling Qi felt this wasn't good and decided to hide his equipment and personal information to avoid future trouble. After hiding his equipment, the effects of the top-tier gear were still preserved, but he would appear wearing the default attire. Ling Qi felt this interface was still better. Done, he quickly left, ignoring the elf girl who was still endlessly cooing and begging. Please take me with you. Big brother, why are you ignoring me and leaving like that? Ling Qi waved his hand, signaling for her not to follow him. The map I want to go to, let alone you, I'm afraid they can't handle it either. These words were true, but the way Ling Qi said it hurt the pride of the guys who were trying to impress the girl, and they flared up in anger. Hey, what do you mean we can't handle it? What's a level 1 trash like you showing off for? If you're so good, let's solo. Do you dare accept my solo invitation? I guarantee I'll beat you so bad, your own mother won't recognize you. Ling Xiao had intended to ignore them, but these guys were really pushing it. He turned his head, his eyes filled with killing intent, as he looked at them, then spat out 3 words. Want to try. Ling Xu's aura actually made the group of people back up a few steps. After scaring them off, he walked straight away. If he had the time, he'd spend it leveling up. What time did he have to waste with people like this? The elf girl, after being decisively rejected by Lingse, had no choice but to return to her old trough. Even though she had just aggressively said she didn't need them to power level her, which had hurt their pride, it only took a few coaxing and flattering words for things to go back to how they were. At the same time, at the level 5 Ant Soldier bivouac, a group of adventurers with levels from 3 to 5 were trying to conquer it. But their situation was not good, as their mana was about to run out, and their potions were all used up. Their team leader, a level 5 warrior, still didn't want to retreat. Because the group was in the middle ring of the bivouac, the highest level of the ant soldiers didn't exceed level 4, and they could still barely manage. He wanted to block this wave and then retreat. They had been struggling here for 3 days, and each member had gained a level. Tomorrow they planned to enter the inner ring where there were level 5 monsters, to risk it for some equipment and money. However, this was actually very difficult, because it was said that in the past, players who wanted to enter the inner ring had to be level 5 elites from the 5 great guilds. They all had level 5 gold equipment and were prepared with at least 2 healers to recover lost health during combat. An amateur team like this getting to the middle ring with level 4 monsters was already a great effort. Seriously, kill the monsters. It's almost over. The team leader, seeing them start to talk too much, urged them on. But right at this moment, someone in their group suddenly noticed something was not right. In the distance, a level 1 player was single-handedly breaking through the encirclement of these ant soldiers. Who else could that person be but Ling Chao? But the fact that a level 1 thief could single-handedly rush into the middle of a swarm of level 4 ant soldiers was too exaggerated. Moreover, after fighting his way through, he was heading straight for the inner ring of the ant soldier bivouac, where all the monsters were level 5. Watching Ling No run straight through without any hesitation, the other team could only exclaim one thing. Good heavens, he's crazy. Ling Se didn't hesitate in the slightest, jumping straight into the area of the bivouac filled with level 5 monsters. Others looked at him and thought he was crazy, but in reality, Because of his top-tier gear, Ling Qi was extremely confident. Remembering on the way here, Ling Xiao had also met many other adventurers on their way to the ant soldier bivouac. This was a level 5 map that those above that level were not allowed to enter, and the ant soldiers in the inner ring were truly a nightmare for players. But Ling Xiao was different. With the top-tier gear in his hands, this level 5 map would be the perfect place to help him level up. It allowed Ling Qi to both deal extra damage to monsters level 5 and below and minimize the damage he took. He was currently level 1. If he power leveled by killing higher level monsters, he would get a lot of experience points. At this time in the middle ring, a team was arguing noisily. The reason was that in their team was a level 4 red-named player. Red-named referred to killers. After killing another player, their name would automatically turn red, hence red-named. When a red-named player died, not only would their experience points drop, but they would also lose one piece of equipment. The time it took for a red name to disappear depended on the player's level. This team belonged to the nebulous one of the 5 great guilds. In that team there was a red-named player who had just carelessly gotten himself killed and lost his equipment, causing the entire team to almost be wiped out, which led to a verbal dispute. Right at this moment, Ling Qi happened to pass by and seeing the commotion stopped to watch for a bit. The red-named guy who had just been scolded felt terrible, and seeing that Ling Qi was just a level 1 thief staring at him felt extremely embarrassed. He shouted loudly, What are you looking at? You're just a level 1 thief. Is it fun to eavesdrop on other people's conversations? Ling Qi shrugged. He wasn't eavesdropping. They were just so loud that he heard them as he passed by. But before he could even reply, a sword suddenly sliced through the air towards him, the tip of the blade stopping right in front of Ling Qi's face, just a hand's breadth away. A level 1 thief like you doesn't need to go in there, the sword's owner warned. This is not a place for a level 1 player like you to enter. If you want to try your luck, you'll just be wasting your time. Hurry up and go to the leveling area for levels 1 and 2. Based on the way he swung his sword, Ling Qi could feel that the strength of the people in this guild was not bad, at least stronger than most other players. He calmly pushed the sword blade away from his face, then began to set conditions with the people in front of him. What if I told you I could help you retrieve your dropped equipment and then sell it back to you? Ling Qi's tone was very calm, but to the ears of these people, it sounded arrogant. They all thought there was something wrong with his head. He was just a level 1 thief, yet he intended to go into the middle ring with level 4 monsters to retrieve equipment. That's right, because I need money, Ling Qi confirmed decisively. Where did your equipment drop? Is it possible it's already been taken? The red-named guy shook his head. Just now, he had wanted to find the best place to escape, so he specifically chose a high rock in the inner ring. After being surrounded by a swarm of ant soldiers, he had dropped his level 5 blazing flame staff there. By now, the sun was about to set, and when he went in, there was no one else, so he was sure no one had had time to pick up the staff yet. As soon as he finished speaking, Ling Qi had already disappeared. The remaining people in the team were also stunned. Everyone go to the rest area. Just remember to pay. Don't let me come back and not find anyone. Ling Xi's figure was already far away and no one could catch up. They were also at a loss. If they couldn't stop him, they had to just let it be. But the female leader of the team didn't hold out much hope for a thief like Ling Qi. After that, as seen, he went straight into the middle ring, skipping the outer ring because there were still many people leveling up there. Moreover, the monsters there were not even worth a snack for him. Ling Xia was determined to reach level 5 today, so he dealt with the level 3 and 4 ant soldiers extremely ruthlessly. The damage Ling Gao dealt to them was very high, so his farming speed was also very fast. Even the level 4 ant soldiers that several teams combined had trouble dealing with were just toys in Ling Tu's hands. The more Ling Tu fought, the more excited he got, and in the end, he went straight to the boundary between the middle and inner rings as seen. The fact that a level 1 thief could reach the middle ring of the bivouac and still be alive was already crazy enough. But he was even rushing straight into the inner ring. After the sky started to get dark, the other players all gathered around the inner ring. When they saw Ling Qi single-handedly taking on a pile of level 5 ant soldiers, they were stunned. What was even scarier was that when he went in, he was only level 1, and now he had leveled up to level 5. What kind of monstrous leveling speed is this? Ling Qi was being surrounded and admired by people as if he were in a zoo. But he didn't care much, because besides leveling up successfully, Ling Zhuo had also found the blazing flame staff that the other group had dropped. At this moment, his whole body was covered in blood, but he felt unusually refreshed. The thing that made Ling Qi regret the most was probably that after he reached level 5, the top-tier gear set quickly disappeared. The system reminded him that it was getting late, and advised players to pay attention to their health and go to the rest area to accumulate boosted experience. The group from the Nebulous had also returned to the rest area by now. The red-named mage still had some hope, so he wanted to wait for Ling Qi to return. But he was grabbed by the furious female leader. "I'm warning you one more time. Although our team is a third-tier guild, contention is still one of the 5 great guilds. It's one thing for you to lose your equipment, but you're still counting on a novice to get it back for you. Don't you feel ashamed?" The thought of relying on a level 1 thief was indeed more and more ridiculous the more one thought about it. But Ling Che's eyes at that time were really determined, making it hard not to believe him, and the mage, hoping to find his precious staff, believed him even more. At this time, more and more players from the ant soldier bivouac poured into the rest area. They were all discussing a great god who farmed monsters and went straight from level 1 to level 5. The Heavenland Forum was also about to explode, because since the service opened, there had never been such a sensational event. All the hot topics now belonged to Ling Qi. The Nebulous group also noticed. Because of this, they just didn't know who everyone was talking about. But then one of their team members quickly discovered something unusual, then stammered in shock, unable to speak. Because Ling Qi had returned. Although his whole body was covered in blood, his spirit seemed unusually calm. In his hand he was holding the blazing flame staff. "How do you plan to pay the price?" The female leader turned her head, and seeing Ling Qi couldn't help but gasp in shock. Not only did he really bring back the blazing flame staff, but he had also gained 4 levels in just one afternoon. It seemed the great god everyone was talking about was indeed Ling Qi. His appearance was very calm, as if what he had just experienced was nothing special. The elf mage, after getting his staff back, gave Ling Qi all the assets he had, which was 3 silver coins. The two of them had a happy transaction, and he was so happy he could fly. After finishing the business, Ling Qi quickly left. But he had only taken a few steps when the female leader hurriedly chased after him. "Wait a minute, thief, wait for me," she called out anxiously. "Excuse me, have you joined any guilds yet? If you're interested, I can help introduce you, and then you can take the assessment." Realizing this was a once-in-a-millennium talent, she immediately wanted to pull Ling Qi into her Nebulous. This offer made him ponder for a moment. In his past life, Ling Qi didn't even have a way to touch a normal guild, let alone the Nebulous, because they were one of the 5 great guilds. When he joined the game, that guild had long been full of members, and the players who could become members of the 5 great guilds were therefore particularly arrogant. In his past life, Ling Qi spent 2 years just pursuing how to quickly max out his level. In this aspect, because after the pet system was released, the difficulty of leveling up was significantly reduced. But in another aspect, he almost completely ignored high-end equipment or special missions. Ling Qi had studied countless guides from other players, then discovered a series of leveling models that suited him. Coupled with some of his own skills, he quickly reached max level in a short time. After maxing out, he could take on some mission orders to earn some money to support his life. However, because he wasn't qualified to join a guild, Ling Qi was a solo player throughout his past life. Thinking back now, joining a guild was just a beautiful fantasy for him in his past life. But this life was different. He was the strong one and could absolutely choose. "Thanks, let me think about it." Thinking of this, Ling Qi casually replied to her. Joining a guild was just a matter of time, but which one to join would depend on fate. The road ahead for him was still long, and his immediate goal was to get another set of equipment. After returning to the novice village, Ling Qi was greeted more warmly than ever. As expected in this backwater place, level 5 was the big boss. Everyone wanted him to power level them, but Ling Qi didn't have the time. He almost forgot about the bet with the guys at the novice equipment shop. They were also waiting at this time, but none of them believed Ling Qi could successfully return. "Yo, you guys are still here. Why haven't any of you leveled up yet?" While they were busy bad-mouthing Ling Qi, his voice suddenly rang out. "We meet again, you bunch of scrubs." It was clearly Ling Qi, but now he had reached level 5. These guys were immediately put in an awkward position, although they couldn't understand how he could do it. The whole group too, ashamed, quickly slipped away. Ling Che didn't just come here to embarrass them, he wanted to sell equipment. After selling 12 accessory pieces, Ling Che earned 30 silver and 66 copper coins. Selling all the useless equipment is tidy and I got a decent amount. Ling Che was ready for his next goal, so he bought 20 more bottles of reinforced kindling and 3 bottles of stealth potion. Then Ling Che went to the blacksmith shop next door to buy a level 5 white-silver dagger. The preparations were now officially complete and Ling Che quickly moved on. The reason he leveled up to 5 so quickly was because Heavenland had only been active for 3 months, and that dungeon had not yet been opened. In his past life, a player had accidentally discovered a lair not far from the ant soldier bivouac, which was the Ant Queen's lair. After clearing this map, the dungeon would automatically be renewed, and the hidden dungeon echoing forest would appear. The discovery of this hidden dungeon was when Heavenland had been released for 9 months. But in this life, Ling Che would be one step ahead, because the equipment he was aiming for was the level 10 ice silk armor, which dropped from that hidden dungeon. Ling Che quickly went deep into the Ant Queen's lair. Inside this lair, the number of ant soldiers was very large. In his past life, many players had tried to challenge it, but most of them had skipped the fastest method, which was to clear the stage with speed. Ling Che was different. If it wasn't necessary to fight, he would definitely not fight. Therefore, he drank the first bottle of stealth potion. This potion had an effect just like its name. It would make the user invisible. Whether they were discovered or not depended on the opponent's perception. After becoming invisible, Ling Che used his godlike speed to pass through layers upon layers of ant soldiers. However, he hadn't completely escaped their encirclement when the potion wore off. The ant soldiers quickly discovered Ling Che and chased after him. He used the remaining 2 bottles, but they didn't last long. Fortunately, the destination was very close, because Ling Che's goal was only one: the Ant Queen. Next, he took advantage of the ant's fear of fire, throwing out several bottles of kindling, creating a wall of fire. The ant soldiers couldn't continue to charge, and any that were reckless enough became roasted ants. Ling Che was now extremely confident. The Ant Queen, although a queen, had no offensive maneuvers at all. It could only protect itself by continuously summoning ant soldiers as a line of defense. But now the ant soldiers were all blocked by the wall of fire. The Ant Queen was just a fish in a barrel. Seeing Ling Che's decisive attack, the Ant Queen also started to get scared. Even more frightening was that Ling Che still had 6 bottles of kindling in his hand. This was enough to cook his opponent well done. And indeed, there was no miracle for the Ant Queen to turn the tide. After throwing the remaining bottles of kindling in his hand, Ling Che successfully defeated the boss of this lair. A server-wide notification was quickly sent to other players. On it was written, "An anonymous player has cleared the Ant Queen's lair, thereby provoking the wrath of the race, leading to the level 5 hidden dungeon echoing forest officially opening." At the same time at the Nebulous, a meeting of the guild's important figures had been convened. The head of the meeting was the army commander with the ID "I am self-reliant" level 9. The one who had urgently requested this meeting was Dira level 5, who was also the female leader who had met Ling Che earlier. This time, she returned to the guild and hurriedly requested a meeting of the army commanders also because of him. Because the fact that Ling Che could level up from 1 to 5 in one afternoon was clearly not normal. With his strength, if he couldn't be recruited into their guild, he would surely become a threat if he joined another guild in the future. What are you afraid of? Just a small level 5 thief, how can he affect the 5 great guilds? Another person spoke up this time with the ID PPP Underworld Army level 8. Dira firmly maintained her point of view, because she had personally witnessed Ling Che's operations, plus the fact that he deliberately hid his personal information gave people a very different feeling and aura compared to ordinary players. Alright, I see that Dira is also thinking for the guild, which is why she requested this meeting. Everyone don't make things difficult for her, Tiana spoke up. This female mage was the deputy army commander and also a level 9 player. While the other members were skeptical and thought Dira was overreacting, Tiana acknowledged her opinion and said that if there was a chance, they should invite Ling Che to the guild for an assessment. Thanks to her, the atmosphere at the meeting also became less tense. But right at that moment, a server-wide announcement was sent that made the whole meeting even more tense than a bowstring. It was the announcement about Ling Qi clearing the Ant Queen's lair and opening the hidden dungeon. Wow, a hidden dungeon. And it's even level 5. My god, that was a solo fight. Which great god is it? Looking at the announcement, it seems that Ant Queen's lair was also just activated. That's a top player. I wonder which guild he's from. It was also because Ling Che had hidden his information. Otherwise, if these people knew that the great god they were praising was the little thief Dira had mentioned, they would surely stand there dumbfounded. Tiana was the first to regain her composure after reading the announcement. She thought that since the hidden dungeon had just opened, it was likely that all players would flock there. If so, their guild couldn't just sit still. They needed to quickly go there and scout for some good seeds. Bailey felt that what Tiana said made a lot of sense, and quickly made the decision to set off for the hidden dungeon echoing forest. Whether it was the Nebulous or the other great guilds, and even passers-by, they were all stirred up by that announcement and couldn't help but be amazed. This was the first time a hidden dungeon had opened since the game went into operation. Therefore, no one knew what was inside or what the rewards were. Many players rushed to buy good potions and stock up, hoping to go to the echoing forest to try their luck. Countless conversations among players took place in every nook and cranny of the Novice village, everyone abuzz because of the opening of the hidden dungeon and eager to go. Ling Qi was the one who had opened this hidden dungeon. But when he arrived, there were already many other players there before him. He remembered that this was a special team mission, so it wasn't too strange that many people had come. Moreover, the echoing forest was a hidden dungeon, so it usually had additional conditions or special rules. The rule this time was that it allowed team formation without a level difference limit, as long as the player did not exceed level 5. Ling Xiu had already prepared props and equipment for both himself and his teammates. Now he just needed to randomly find 4 people to form a team first. After accepting the mission at the Crystal Pillar, Ling Si could use the teleportation gate to go to the dungeon. The nearby teleportation arrays were all light yellow, symbolizing low-grade difficulty. Ling Xi really had no interest in challenging a mission with such a low difficulty, so he was aiming for a higher one. Moreover, the low-grade and mid-grade difficulties had already been cleared by people. Only the high-grade one had not been surpassed by anyone yet. Above that, there were still special grade and frenzy grade difficulties. But currently, even the team from the Heavenly Glory Guild, one of the 5 great guilds, had failed in challenging the high-grade difficulty, and there were even casualties, so no one dared to even think about challenging special grade and frenzy grade. Ling Tao was still busy thinking when he suddenly heard someone scream. It turned out that the representative in charge of training elite novices from the 5 great guilds had arrived. They were at the location next to the entrance of the echoing forest to monitor the novices clearing the stage. This team was all great masters from level 8 to 9 of the 5 great guilds here, to find some novices with good potential to bring back to their guilds. Bailey was probably the most anxious one. He had been chasing Tiana for a long time, but every time he confessed, he was rejected. This time, Bai Li wanted to gather as many good seeds as possible, accumulate enough contributions, and then apply to upgrade the guild to level 2. He believed that by then Tiana would not reject him anymore. "Commander Bai Li, are you still daydreaming?" Suddenly Tiana's voice from behind made Bai Li jump in surprise. "The mission of a level 3 guild like ours is still to recruit talented novices." Whatever Tiana said, Bai Li just nodded like a woodpecker, his mind full of nothing but upgrading the guild and then confessing his love. Meanwhile, Tiana was very expectant because she believed that the little thief Dira had mentioned would also appear here. More and more players were arriving, including the team of the elf girl, who had taunted Lingcha at the foot of the mountain. It was a case of enemies on a narrow road. The two sides once again met. The young guys, seeing that Ling Che had reached level 5 in just one afternoon, were extremely shocked, while the pink-haired elf girl, upon seeing him, once again started fawning over him. "Thief, big brother, you're really amazing. Did you come looking for me because you missed me this time? I'm willing to follow you." This flattering attitude of hers really made Ling Qi's skin crawl, but conveniently, they had 4 people. Finding new people would mean explaining things all over again, which was very complicated. But if he formed a team with these 4, they already knew what Ling Qi was capable of. Therefore, he took the initiative to offer to form a team. He would be responsible for carrying them through the stage, and he even guaranteed that if they failed, he would compensate them. In return, Lingche had one condition: for 3 days they had to hide the team's information. The other group was initially very confused. Wasn't clearing a hidden dungeon something worth showing off? Why would they have to hide the information? Lingche was too lazy to explain, just saying that. From the rewards, he only needed one specific piece of equipment, and the rest they could divide among themselves. This offer was really tempting, so in the end, the 4 of them all agreed. All right, let's go in. Let me choose the teleportation gate. After successfully forming the team, Lingche quickly took command. Wait, don't we need to prepare or discuss a strategy first? Are you really capable of doing this? These people were still skeptical of Lingche, but when they saw the teleportation gate, he chose they were so scared their jaws dropped. Because Lingche had chosen the Crimson Gate. Only then did they realize they had been tricked, but it was too late. That's right. The crimson color was the symbol of the highest difficulty frenzy grade. By the time they realized the situation was not good, they couldn't run away anymore. Lingche, as the team leader, had accepted the hidden dungeon echoing forest at frenzy difficulty. In just 3 more seconds, the entrance would officially open. The situation at that time was really bustling. Many people had gathered to watch. Even Bai Li and Tiana, who were standing on the observation deck, were attracted by the crimson teleportation gate. They were extremely shocked. Today was the first day this hidden dungeon opened. Even the high-grade difficulty hadn't been successfully challenged. Yet some fool was opening frenzy grade. Damn it, which guild is that? Bai Li asked, grinding his teeth. It can't be people from the first guild, can it? Echoing Forest just opened not long ago. The only ones with the ability would be them from the first guild. Some also thought it was just a freelance team not belonging to any guild that had chosen frenzy grade. After all, this kind of person who wanted to try their luck was not a rare situation. Even if they really chose it, it wasn't certain they could clear the stage. Tiana was very curious and told Bai Li to go down there with her to see. In front of the teleportation gate, more and more people were gathering. The guys who were initially reluctant to go in with Lingche, but as more and more people came to watch the fun, they were so embarrassed they could die, and had no choice but to be dragged into the dungeon by Lingche. Bai Li and Tiana had also squeezed into the crowd by now. When the other players saw they were great masters from the 5 great guilds, they obediently made way. But after Bai Li saw Lingxi's group, he immediately showed his disdain. I was wondering who it was. Turns out it's a bunch of unqualified freelance players. And I even had to squeeze my way in here, he muttered. Just as Bai Li was about to leave, someone else came to provoke him. He unhappily turned his head and found it was 2 players level 9 and level 10. Yo, isn't this Bai Li? Every time your Nebulous looks for novices, you always act so fast. But you never manage to recruit anyone. It's really embarrassing. The final 4 words, "it's really embarrassing," were like a direct slap to Bai Li's face, making him so angry his face turned purple, but he couldn't say anything. The 2 masters in front of him were from the Wolf's Fang Guild, ranked 3rd among the 5 great guilds. It seems the great guilds are arriving in greater numbers. Moreover, this Wolf's Fang Guild had always looked down on and caused trouble for the Nebulous. Bai Li was really so angry he wanted to fight. But with so many people watching for fun, Tiana advised him not to be rash for now, as it would only make him look worse. Yo, I think I remember you. You're the female mage from the Moonlit Battle Guild from last time, aren't you? Why are you here now? The level 9 player from the Wolf's Fang Guild suddenly shifted his target to Tiana. Don't tell me you're this Bai Li's woman, are you? You really have no taste. Just one sentence, but it hit 2 people. This woman was truly rare and vicious. He originally thought he would provoke Tiana into a rage, but unexpectedly she just calmly replied, "Do you know me? But I don't have any impression of you at all. Maybe it's because your face is too common, so it's quite hard to recognize. Sorry about that." After Tiana finished speaking, she turned and walked straight away, leaving the other person fuming behind her. The crowd quickly dispersed, and the great guilds also returned to their main task of gathering information on novices to report back. But almost no one had any hope for Lingche's team. At the same time, their group of 5 had entered the hidden dungeon echoing forest at frenzy difficulty. After stepping through the teleportation gate, the young guys started to get antsy, harshly criticizing Lingche for being brainless for choosing the highest difficulty. Hey, you a novice who luckily leveled up to 5 think you're invincible in the world, huh? Are you done yelling? Being so loud will attract the insect swarm. The monsters created by Heavenland's AI are not to be trifled with. Lingti replied calmly, making the whole group shut up. But they still didn't believe he could carry the whole team through the stage, so they started planning their escape by directly leaving the dungeon. At this point, the pink-haired elf girl finally spoke up. She didn't want anyone to leave because it was hard enough to form a good team. She herself was only a level 1 player, so even if she died, she wasn't afraid of losing levels, but if she left just like that, she would have no chance to level up and no equipment. It's been transferred, just accept it. Open the team interface and you can receive it. I've chosen relatively suitable equipment for the 4 of you for this dungeon based on your professions, Ling Xi suddenly said. At this moment, the 4 of them stopped arguing because they realized they had just received new equipment. The equipment he sent were respectively the Flame Guard gauntlets for the warrior, the Crimson Cloud staff for the priest, the Fire Transformation robe for the mage, and the Flame Thief leather armor for the thief. These were all equipment suitable for their levels. With these attribute equipment in the early stages, their price would be no less than 10 silver pieces. These people were so shocked, their jaws dropped, not knowing where Ling Che got so much money. Killing a lot of monsters, you'll get some equipment sooner or later, he replied with an innocent tone, as if it were nothing. The weakness of insects is fire. Now that we have fire attribute equipment, we can increase our damage a lot. These people really couldn't wait any longer, and immediately equipped the new gear. They were not yet over their shock from these items when Ling Che took out a pile of reinforced kindling bottles. Take these too. We'll need them later. Oh dear, are you a merchant? Ling Chu refused to answer, just telling them to each take 15 bottles to use for the boss fight. If it weren't for the limit of only being able to carry 60 bottles, he would have brought more. This part is specifically for the boss fight. As for the trash mobs along the way, I already have a plan. After distributing the props to the team members, Ling Tse also had to make calculations for himself. Today, he was fighting a frenzy difficulty dungeon, so he couldn't continue wearing this default gear. Coincidentally, all his attributes were evenly distributed, so he could put on this newly bought level 5 gear set. This gear set was specially prepared for the Echoing Forest. Just buying it had cost him a lot of money. Let's go. After Ling Chi changed into his new clothes, his aura became soaring. And the others, seeing his outfit, couldn't hide their surprise. Because it was the most expensive outfit in the store, the Essence set a fire attribute thief costume level 5. Seeing his confident appearance, the 4 of them finally started to believe that they would be among the first to clear the frenzy difficulty mission. Before coming here, Ling Che had studied very carefully, plus with his experience from his past life. The insect race in Heavenland was a race with a very strong sense of consciousness and was extremely dangerous. Therefore, when the insects felt their existence was threatened, they would choose to avoid or run away. Very quickly, Ling Ti's group encountered the first monster, a level 4 praying mantis. Honestly, its half-human, half-monster appearance was quite cute, so the elf girl couldn't help but exclaim, "Wow, so cute. You idiot!" Ling Che really couldn't stand it and hit her. "Sit down. Can't you see the prey in its hand? Do you want to end up like that too?" Now looking closely, the praying mantis did indeed have prey in its hand, and its appearance was very tragic. After dealing with its prey, the praying mantis also quickly fled. If the elf girl had said one more word just now, it's likely she would have attracted a whole swarm of monsters. The people in the group began to get anxious, wanting Ling Che to explain his plan for fighting the monsters. After all, the insect race, although said to be fragile, had very high speed and combat power. Moreover, monsters in frenzy difficulty were even tougher. Whether it was their health attack or defense, they were all enhanced. Their attacks also came with a deep wound effect that caused continuous bleeding. It was estimated that just a few hits would cause you to bleed to death. Ling Ti, of course, knew this well, so he wouldn't foolishly go head-to-head with these monsters. In this Echoing Forest dungeon, there were 3 distinct zones. The outermost was the praying mantis area, in the middle was the moth area, and inside was the spider area. And after successfully passing through these 3 areas, they could approach the final boss. Besides the 3 monster types guarding the 3 areas, praying mantis, moth, and spider, there was also a special existence. It was the neutral creature, the weeping bird. The weeping bird was the key to this dungeon. Ling Ce wanted to use it as a natural enemy to counter them, then open a hidden small path to approach the boss area. Speaking of which, he suddenly realized a problem: he still didn't know the names of these people. For the convenience of future communication, Ling Chu told them to simply report their names. The level 3 beastman had the ID J-Drama Run, simply called J-Drama Run. Next, the level 3 male elf had an extremely cheesy ID, the world's most fashionable, deep, lonely, sorrowful melancholy, which was anti-mainstream. Ling Ce had no choice but to call him anti-mainstream. The man with the warrior profession who always looked like he wanted to fight Ling Ce was Longface, called Longface for short. As for the silly pink-haired elf girl, she had a fairly short ID, Xiaolan. After knowing their names, Ling Ce quickly told the whole group to use their time to find the weeping bird. This process went without too much difficulty. Ling Ce, by giving the bird a few worms he had collected on the way, quickly gained its trust. It was just that the name Weeping Bird sounded majestic, but its appearance was completely different from its name. After building a good relationship with the weeping bird, Ling Chu received a hidden prop, the weeping flute, a gift of friendship from the bird to the player. It could produce a melodious bird song that was very pleasant to the ear, but it was also the #1 danger signal for insects. A series of his actions were so skillful, like flowing water and moving clouds, that the other members of the group really couldn't believe everything was going so smoothly. Who would have guessed that that stupid, ugly bird would have a hidden prop? So that's why I say in Heavenland no NPC is useless. It's just a matter of whether you can find their usefulness. Ling Chi condescendingly reminded them with a few words. Now that they had the weeping flute in hand, they didn't necessarily have to go back to the praying mantis area from the beginning. They could take a shortcut that led to the boss's teleportation gate, but it was just a bit troublesome. J-Drama Run had been wondering for a while now, but only now mustered the courage to ask Ling Chi a question. "Boss, how did you know about these shortcuts? And that flute, does it have any experience?" Ling Xu, of course, couldn't tell them that in his past life, he had cleared this dungeon countless times. He had to make up a lame excuse, saying that before coming here, he had read some books about observing insects in the library of the capital Kasfa, which recorded some information. Only after reading that book could one effectively operate in this dungeon. For example, the weeping flute had a restrictive effect. Without knowledge related to it, one couldn't activate it. The 4 people in the group were not the type to enjoy reading, so they had no doubts about what he had just made up. Ling Sha took this opportunity to change the subject, telling them to open the dungeon map. The main road leading straight to the boss's lair had to pass through the 3 monster areas. But besides that, there was a small path that led through a swamp surrounded by dense forest, so normally no one would take that route. Firstly, because they didn't know how to go, just a little carelessness could get them lost. Secondly, because the monsters in the swamp were very scattered and didn't follow any pattern, it wasn't as safe as the main road that had already been scouted. "You mean we're going to take that unsafe shortcut? Wouldn't that be rushing to meet King Yama sooner?" Anti-Mainstream asked, doubtfully. "The weeping bird is a natural predator to the insect race. At that time, we just need to blow the weeping flute to summon it, which can scare the insect swarm for a while." That was also why Ling Chi had to go to the trouble of finding that fat bird first. Hearing him say that, the whole group was also reassured and decided to take that trail. Among them, Xiaolan seemed to be the most excited. But her happiness didn't last long, because after that, all 5 of them had to wade through a muddy swamp together. Xiaolan kept complaining that she was a beautiful girl, wearing a beautiful dress, yet she had to endure this situation. Ling Che really felt disgusted by her. She was already useless and still talked so much. If you're not willing to pay even this small price, then don't even think about clearing a frenzy difficulty stage. His eyes were truly cold, making Xiaolan not dare to complain anymore. Right at this moment, the monsters in the swamp began to appear. No wonder they were monsters. From a frenzy difficulty dungeon, their aura was truly intimidating. When they discovered their group and were about to attack, Ling Che put the weeping flute to his lips and blew. The insect swarm, upon hearing the flute, immediately stopped, their whole bodies trembling like a leaf in the wind. It seemed this hidden prop really worked. He blew another note, and the insect swarm immediately turned and fled. "I didn't expect that stupid bird to be so useful," These small, frenzy difficulty monsters are all afraid of it. It really is a natural predator, anti-mainstream muttered. Don't get complacent. Follow me closely, Ling Che couldn't help but remind them. This shortcut is not that simple. Everything relies on this flute. If you get left behind alone, you'll have to face the siege of the monsters in this dungeon. When he said this, the team Moi realized that at this moment they were indeed surrounded. Above their heads were all monsters. It was just that they were afraid of the flute's sound and didn't dare to approach. Because of this, no one dared to disobey Ling Chi's words and just followed closely behind him. Finally, after a struggle in the swamp, the group reached a safe area. Ling Se immediately activated the body cleansing function, making the mud on his body instantly disappear. His outfit also regained its splendor, a stark contrast to the messy appearance of the others. Although taking the shortcut was indeed difficult, the hardship was completely worth it. Because in front of them now was a crimson teleportation gate. Just by stepping through this gate, they would reach the final boss's place. Longface was a little flustered. The monsters just now were only small fries, yet they were already so terrifying. Now facing the real boss of this frenzy difficulty dungeon, he was afraid he wouldn't make it. Hey, you've read so many books in the library, there must be a trick in there, like not having to fight the boss to clear the stage, right? No, this time to defeat the boss, we have to rely entirely on our own strength. The boss they were about to face was the ruler of the Triassic period Mud Dragon, a monster of the Beast King level 5. Just as he put the bottle on the table, J-Drama Run received a message from Longface. Did everyone get it? Ling Chi suspiciously sent a message. Why do we have to chat? Can't we just open the mic? Longface then replied, I thought the atmosphere was so tense if we suddenly talked it would scare everyone. Are you guys ready? Anti-Mainstream reported. We're ready on our side. J-Drama Run also gave a signal. No problem. J-Drama Run then texted back, We're ready on our side. When Longface saw this, he sent a message, that thief named Ling Shi. He even knows the boss's living environment. Anti-Mainstream was also very surprised. How could he know so many details? Ling Su instructed them, everyone needs to remember what I'm about to say. With our current level and equipment, it's impossible to fight the frenzy difficulty boss head-on. Xiaolan, hearing this, anxiously asked, then what should we do? Ling Su calmly laid out the battle plan. The kindling bottles I gave you are to be thrown at the boss while we're fighting it. Using 3 bottles in a row will make the boss enter a burning state. Mud Dragon is not only weak to fire, but in a burning state it will also take additional damage. Longface voiced his doubt, but even if that's the case, where do we stand to throw them? If it whips us with its tail, wouldn't we all be dead? Xiaolan grew more scared. The more she heard, this is too dangerous. I don't want to. He continued his suspicion. Moreover, throwing the kindling bottle has a certain range limit. Ling Chi assured him, don't worry about that point. I've already arranged a designated position for you. A notification appeared on the screen, a new coordinate has been sent to the team on the map. He sternly continued as for when to throw. Listen for my signal then. J-Drama Run felt a bit more at ease. The boss must have many friends who have cleared the lower difficulty echoing forest, so he was able to gather this information. Longface, hearing him, was very annoyed. Why do you always say, boss? Is it really necessary? Xiaolan was very anxious. I'm so nervous. He told us to wait for his signal. Why hasn't it come yet? Longface had no choice but to accept it. That thief has put in so much effort to set this up. Let's just trust him for now. If anything goes wrong with the plan, we'll all find him to settle the score. Xiaolan, on one hand, was learning to control her breathing to calm down, and on the other, she was constantly taking deep breaths and encouraging herself. Relax. Meanwhile, J-Drama Run was scratching his head, but he said he wanted to lure the boss here himself. That's really surprising. I really want to see how he does it. Alone, Ling Chia was ambushing on the mountaintop where the boss was hiding. His cold voice rang out, Boss of frenzy difficulty, it's the leader-level existence. Long time no see. In the past life I fought you countless times. Seeing the chain strike passive skill being activated on the screen, he thought to himself, reaching level 5. I've learned chain strike. If the chain is not interrupted by an attack, the number of attacks can be continuously stacked until the end. Using it with my special function equipment and my new skill gathering to form a critical burst skill. After Ling Chi got the skill, he immediately rushed down to attack. His voice, full of danger, rang out, "Wake up and welcome your death." A source of power descended on Mud Dragon's body. That one hit had angered Mud Dragon. The system announced, "You have disturbed the sound sleep of Mud Dragon, the ruler of the Triassic period." It roared, making the space tremble. Mud Dragon, the ruler of the Triassic period, level 5 leader level roars, "You despicable humans daring to disturb my sleep." Lingza had also landed. He proactively greeted it, "We meet again." As soon as he finished provoking Mud Dragon, Ling Chu ran away. He nimbly dodged its every attack. Lingza's body flexibly clung to the long spike on its claw. Then he decisively pulled it out. Mud Dragon, in pain, launched its killing move. It spat venom at him, but he had already escaped. Ling Che disdainfully looked at it. "Your moves. I'm too familiar with them. I even remember the range limit of your every move." His footsteps stopped at the next sharp spike. A stream of deadly venom shot from Mud Dragon's mouth again. He silently calculated the distance is just right. The system announced, "Thrusting skill activated." His dagger swung up, preparing to attack that spike. The fierce battle lasted for an hour. At the waiting spot, Xiaolan anxiously exclaimed, "It's been so long, why hasn't the signal come yet?" Longface thought, "It's been an hour already. Has that little brat run away from the battle? What the hell is that little brat doing? The mic is not in range. Don't tell me he's going to come back and say the plan failed." Drama Run still trusted Ling Chi completely, probably not. On the team info, his health bar has always been full. He thought to himself, could it be he hasn't defeated the boss yet? If not, how could his health bar not have dropped after so long? From a distance, a shout rang out, "Get ready!" Longface looked in that direction and realized, it's coming. It's coming. Drama Run. Guessed the dust is stirring, is it? The boss. Anti-mainstream was also surprised. Did that thief really lure the boss here? Xiaolan was extremely flustered. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. What do I do? What do I do? Ling Su instructed them, "Don't act rashly. Wait for me to lure the boss into the middle." Meanwhile, Mud Dragon was very confident in its pursuit, thinking one breath would be enough to kill these few people. Looking at the health bar on the screen, they were horrified. Everyone look at the boss's health bar. Longface couldn't believe it. He single-handedly took out 2/3 of the boss's health. How could he do it? Drama Run, full of admiration, exclaimed, "Boss is so cool." Ling Su's footsteps had stopped. He gave the order to his teammates, "Get ready, kill it." They all held their kindling bottles and shouted in unison, "Go die." Xiaolan also closed her eyes and threw the kindling bottle, not thinking anymore, just throw them all. A series of kindling bottles were thrown towards Mud Dragon. The brown liquid poured down onto its skin. Its whole body was burning fiercely. On the cliff face, Longface kept throwing die. Xiaolan felt less scared. She thought to herself, it's so satisfying it's as simple as using money to beat this ugly thing to death. Seeing her madly throwing the bottles, kill you, anti-mainstream felt very speechless. Mud Dragon roared in pain. Ling Sua reminded the whole team. Attention, it's about to go berserk. After the boss goes berserk, your kindling bottles won't be able to hit it. After it goes berserk, it will unleash a special move. The system displayed kindling bottle cannot hit the target. Longface anxiously asked, "Then what should we do?" Ling Che commanded, "Take all the kindling bottles and throw them at me." They shouted in unison, "What? Are you crazy? Even if we can't win, there's no need to commit suicide. We won't kill our teammates." Ling Sua repeated sternly, "I said, throw them at me." Drama Run was the first to comply. He said with determination, "Boss, I trust you." Ling Sua praised him, "Well done, Drama Run." Countless bottles were thrown down to where he was standing. The flames soared high. The system announced, "You have activated the special attribute Essence of Fire. In 30 seconds, you will be immune to fire damage. The next attack will carry fire damage, increasing damage by 5 times to a burning target." Ling Su had unleashed his ultimate move. 30 seconds, let's dance in the inferno together. The system reminded special attack Blazing Essence activated. Outside, the crowd was chattering non-stop. Hey, that group of freelance players, they must have been in there for an hour, right? Is it possible they really cleared the stage? Stop watching the commotion. We should still start from the low grade. It's impossible. Impossible. Even the top guild Heavenly Glory hasn't managed to clear the high-grade stage. I think they're probably hiding in a corner of the dungeon shivering. Another laughed. I think so too. It won't be long before they come out. By now many people have gathered to watch them make a fool of themselves. Beilai was also curious. He asked, "That group of freelance players, what are they doing in the dungeon? Don't tell me they don't dare to come out, do they?" He thought to himself, "If Tiana is so concerned, I might as well leave too." Wasabi-kun replied, "But to be able to stay in frenzy grade for so long is already not simple. If we went in, even staying alive in frenzy grade for a while would be very difficult." Bailey asked unhappily, "Don't tell me you're still hoping they succeed? And there's more. The last time you were in the level 8 dungeon, you found a special prop. You still haven't shown me its effect yet," he replied with a slight smile. "Are you talking about the force-breaking equipment?" Bailey muttered grimly and clapped his shoulder. "Don't think I don't know even the guildmaster is interested in that prop of yours," he replied in frustration. "That's a one-time use prop. More importantly, it can only be used in PvP. That thing I was planning to use it in the arena." Bailey, knowing this information, lost interest. How boring. The arena is a PvP style where players of any level can participate. I'm not interested in participating, even though the higher the rank, the more rewards. Bailey thought to himself, "But I'm still most interested in my beautiful Tiana." He reminded her, "Hey Tiana, it's not worth worrying about, is it?" She replied, "I'm just taking a look." Her intuition made her a little concerned. In the frenzy difficulty echoing forest, Mud Dragon was being burned by fire. The system announced Mud Dragon has entered a berserk state. J-Drama Run, who was throwing, reminded him, "Boss, the boss has entered a berserk state. Be careful." Longface was also very worried. "Are you okay? Don't force yourself if you can't handle it." Ling Shu thought to himself. Entering a berserk state, the most important thing to pay attention to now is what move it will use next. It will all be over in 30 seconds. Mud Dragon had activated its berserk state. The terrifying power of it had been unleashed. Ling Xiao took this opportunity to say, "It's time." His footsteps began to move, and he threw bottles towards the boss. This surprise attack made it unable to dodge. He kept throwing bottles. Ling Xiao was determined to execute his plan. The bottles were still being thrown at the boss. A strike had parried the next thrown bottle, and its target was to fly straight towards the boss. Anti-Mainstream was stunned and realized, "Did you guys see that he actually used mechanics to dodge the boss's berserk skill? And at the same time, he kicked the bottles we threw at him towards the boss. This kind of maneuver, what's his background?" J-Drama Run was also very shocked. "I didn't missee. Did I this mechanics footwork of his? Could it be?" The system reminded Ling Che, "Because you haven't been hit, your current chain combo count is 3659. He realized, "It's now." Ling Che activated Rushing Stream. The system displayed Rushing Stream's attributes. An attack performed with stamina and extreme agility damage player's agility, plus weapon damage, mana cost 90, range 3 meters, cooldown 60 seconds, suitable profession warrior thief. Mud Dragon at this time still didn't know its death was near. Ling Che, who was at its feet, had already jumped up. His dagger had already shattered another bottle. He shouted, "Rushing Stream Blazing Essence." Mud Dragon's whole body was engulfed in an explosion, and its entire body was burning with inextinguishable flames. At the same time, Ling Che jumped to the top of its head and threw down the next kindling bottle. He declared, "It's over." The bottle fell straight onto Mud Dragon's head. The system announced, "Rushing Stream ends the chain combo, total 3660 attacks, doubled." End of killing strike. Special attack, Blazing Essence effect activated, all damage times 5. The team has defeated the boss Mud Dragon, ruler of the Triassic period. Xiaolan was stunned and thought, "At that time Ling Che had instructed me." He asked, "You've learned basic healing, right?" She replied, "Of course." Ling Chi continued, "Here's a basic dispel skill book for you, learn it." "In the end, I have to rely on you," Longface shouted to remind her. Xiaolan dispelled J-Drama Run, and Anti-Mainstream also added Healer Quick. Xiaolan replied seriously, "Okay." The system announced basic dispel function activated, basic healing skill activated. When Ling Che's body was hit with a 24 burn damage, Xiaolan had already healed him with a plus 30 heal. Just like that, when the burn was 29, she would heal him again until the system announced 30-second fire immunity has ended. Ling Ce secretly praised, "It's a good thing her dispel and heal came in time." This way of killing this dead fish, for me, it's also very limiting. Outside, everyone was sighing. Is he not coming out? Waiting is annoying. That's right, what's the point? Let's go home, it's a waste of time. Let's disperse. Let's disperse. No need for intel. I've waited too long. I think that group of freelance players must have been wiped out and revived too many times, so what's worth reporting? The person from Wolf's Fang Lang Yue also exclaimed, this group of freelance players, they really know how to drag things out. Her superior Roger also smiled mockingly. Don't be impatient. Sooner or later they have to come out. Our mission is just to find them and confirm something. Suddenly, a notification appeared to the entire server. Congratulations to the player team Hidden Information for clearing the hidden dungeon, Echoing Forest. Difficulty Frenzy grade. This information caused a stir here. They couldn't believe it. Who is it? Is it real or fake? The system displayed more, becoming the slaughter record holder of the Frenzy grade Echoing Forest dungeon. They were still not over their shock. My God, the slaughter record has appeared too. What's their background? Is it the first guild? They really cleared the stage. The deputy commander was also unable to believe it. This is how is it possible? The screen displayed the slaughter record leaderboard. Frenzy grade first placed the player team with Hidden Information. They only accepted the truth now. What it's true, they cleared the stage. Bailey was also stunned. How did they do it, Tiana? Tiana thought to herself, this team. No, the leader of this team is right. Who exactly is the commander? I must get to know this person. Suddenly there was a shout. Look, they're out. It's them, the freelance players who cleared the Frenzy grade dungeon. The appearance of Ling Chi's group made everyone present gasp in horror. They're out. It's really them. The chatter spread everywhere. The freelance players who cleared the Frenzy grade dungeon, which guild's masters are they? So convenient, so brilliant. The Heavenly Glory Guild's great masters haven't even cleared the high-grade stage yet. What kind of equipment is that? The information is hidden, I can't see. Xiaolan looked around and sighed. So many people. Anti-mainstream also panicked. We just became famous like that. The other guys immediately surrounded them to ask questions. Clearing Frenzy grade with a direct fight against the 5 greats boss. Do you have any secrets you can share? Please. Longface stammered a reply. It seems so. Xiaolan admitted, I'm just a healer. Hearing her say that someone praised young lady, you're also very capable. Someone mistook J-Drama Run for the boss. He quickly denied it. No, I just followed the boss's command. I didn't do anything. Xiaolan thought happily. I also have a day like this getting attention from everyone. It's so great. Meanwhile, only Ling Chu was helpless and thought, as expected, I'm surrounded. It's a good thing I asked them to hide the information. He commanded his teammates, let's go. It's not convenient to talk here. I still have to tell you about the distribution of the rewards from the first kill this time and the plan for next time. J-Drama Run happily accepted the order. Yes, boss. As for Xiaolan, she wasn't satisfied yet. I still want to show off a little more. Someone also came to inquire. Hey, you 5, have you joined a guild yet? The surrounding crowd recognized him. It's someone from the Wolf's Fang. He spoke again. Other than the Essence fire equipment, there's nothing special. You've probably heard of the Wolf's Fang Guild, ranked 3rd among the 5 great guilds. I am Roger of the 3rd squad. Seeing him, Ling Che thought to himself, the Wolf's Fang Guild. Their attitude is still as arrogant as ever. In his past life, the Wolf's Fang was also the 3rd-ranked great guild, but their arrogance surpassed even the number 1 guild, relying on their guild's reputation to grind monsters in Shiking. Any solo player who didn't submit would be forced into a PvP duel. They could only endure it in silence. In my past life at your hands, I also suffered quite a bit. Anti-mainstream guessed, Hey, this is the Wolf's Fang, one of the 5 great guilds. Are we being recruited by a great guild? Longface replied, but we don't have the strength to join a great guild. Roger walked towards them to inquire, your whole team's info is hidden. Perhaps you're not from the 5 great guilds. You do have some ability. I wonder who your captain is. Anti-mainstream answered, it's him, our boss. He glanced at Ling Che contemptuously. You're the captain, right? Unexpectedly, it's a rogue leading the team. Have you joined any guild yet? Ling Che treated him like air. There are still 2 hours before the server closes. Let's go. Seeing himself being ignored, he angrily exclaimed, "I'm talking to you." Anti-mainstream also reminded him, the wing commander of the Wolf's Fang is asking you a question. Lang Yue also questioned Ling Qi. Even if you're from the #1 guild, there's no need to disrespect everyone like this. After all, we're from the Wolf's Fang guild, ranked 3rd. Whether it's true or not, other guilds would at least reply. Seeing that attitude, anti-mainstream became frightened. They're angry, Roger spoke again. If you haven't joined a guild, then this is your honor. If you still haven't joined a guild, then as a vice-wing commander of the Wolf's Fang, I can give you special treatment, or you can join our subsidiary guild. Ling Ce coldly brushed past him. Who are you? I'm not interested. The 3 team members were shocked and shouted in unison, he refused! As for Roger, he was trembling with anger. You little punk! You son of a bitch! You don't know how to appreciate kindness! Let me fix that for you! He proactively attacked Ling Ce. So you really have guts, come here and solo. Accept the duel immediately for me. The surrounding crowd was displeased. That Roger from the Wolf's Fang is provoking them. Go, step back a bit, stay away, watch the show from afar, don't get involved. Anti-mainstream also warned, hey, this isn't good. The other party is from the Wolf's Fang. Roger commanded Ling Si, accept it. The system displayed, do you want to accept an instant duel invitation from a stranger, accept or decline? Longface reminded his teammates, be careful, let's move back a bit. J-Drama Run was very worried. Boss, does this rogue have a grudge against the Wolf's Fang? Ling Chu also replied to the other guy, I don't have time. He exclaimed darkly, it's fine if you don't accept. Even with a red name, you can't do anything to me here. His blazing fireball shot out along with a notification, you have been proactively attacked by a player. You can defend yourself, and killing the attacker under the right of self-defense will not result in a red name. Ling Guo no longer held back. His eyes glanced coldly at his opponent. He lunged towards him, his voice laced with danger. You must be looking for death! Roger was knocked backwards. Only then did he think in fear, what is this reaction speed? He actually managed to dodge my blazing fireball with micro-movements. Just then, Tiana also intervened in the fight. She unleashed her move, paralyzing vine spread. Giant vines erupted from the ground, separating them. Ling Ke looked over in surprise, only to see Tiana standing calmly amidst the crowd. Lang Yue recognized her. It's the artisan of the Nebulous Guild. Tiana was also silently sizing him up. This rogue. My intuition tells me this is the guy Dira talked about. Lang Yue loudly questioned her. What do you mean by interfering, Tiana of Nebulous? Tiana stepped forward to shield Ling Qi. She replied, this rogue is a friend of our Nebulous Guild. Are you trying to represent the Wolf's Fang Guild to proactively provoke a conflict between our 2 guilds? Seeing her, Roger's face darkened as he greeted her. Ha, it's you nebulous people again. Truly foes are bound to meet on a narrow road. Lang Ye impatiently drew her weapon. Tiana of Nebulous. Stop trying to be the leader. Be careful or you'll get wiped out too. But Roger reminded her, put your weapon away. Although she found it strange, she still complied. Fine. He spoke up. It seems you're representing Nebulous to protect this guy. Interesting. Guild Moon War 1 week from now we'll fight to the death. Tiana replied without flinching. See you at the Moon War then. He snorted and then commanded, let's go. Yue Lang was still confused. Go, we're leaving now. Why aren't we going to deal with them? Roger immediately scolded. You idiot. If that rogue was from one of the 4 great guilds, it would be easy to talk. The opponent has brought up Nebulous. What guarantee do you have that our 2 guilds won't go to war? Killing a nightmare-level dungeon increases the guild's prestige value, so they can't not mention the guild's name. So it's Tiana, huh? Just wait until we're at the Moon War, I'll play with you properly. Ling Shua turned to thank her. At the same time, the other team members asked with concern, Boss, are you okay? He answered, I'm fine. J-Drama. Run sighed in relief. It's good that you're fine. Longface also sighed. We almost got into a fight just now, Xiaolan added. That was scary. Tiana turned to ask Ling Che, you guys aren't from a guild. Are you killing a nightmare-level dungeon? Increases the guild's prestige value, so you can't not mention the guild's name. Plus normal guilds wouldn't dare to mess with people from the Wolf's Fang. You're really brave. Even if you are a master as a solo player, If you make an enemy of a great guild, you won't have a good outcome. If I hadn't shown up in time, it would have been very difficult for you to escape. That said, you owe me a big favor. Ling Ke also understood. She wasn't wrong. No matter how strong one person is before the power of a guild, it's nothing. Zhao Lan was burning with jealousy. A rival has appeared, and she's here to snatch this powerful man from me. He then asked directly, "What do you want?" Tiana chuckled silently. She replied, "I want to ask you for a favor." They quickly left the noisy place for a quieter one. Tiana then continued, "That is, if you temporarily join Nebulous for a period of time, you will participate in the next Guild Moon War. I will compensate you with something you like, or items I can craft, or materials. How about it?" she thought to herself. "This person's strength is worth me investigating further. If he can work for me in the future, I just need to let him join Nebulous first, then slowly keep him." However, Ling Che spoke up. "I refuse." Tiana hurriedly stopped him. "Hey, don't be so quick to refuse." Ling Su explained his reason. "I had no intention of joining a guild this early, even if it's temporary. Besides, the contract after joining a guild will greatly restrict my freedom." Tiana assured him, "If you're worried about the contract issue, I can guarantee it with my status as a vice captain. I'll do my best to give you the most comfortable conditions. I just need you to lend me a hand during the Moon War. How about it?" He replied coldly, "Help you, I don't think your guild needs it. Besides, I'm just a level 5 rogue." Tiana tried to persuade him, "No, what I need is your strength. Nebulous and the Wolf's Fang have always been life and death rivals. The reason stems from fighting over benefits. It's actually very normal. Any guild will have some friction with other guilds during its development, depending on the guild's growth. This small friction gradually turned into an increasingly intense conflict up to now. As you can see, I've encountered a tough guy from the Wolf's Fang. Not to mention protecting you this time, maybe my next Moon War will be more dangerous than safe. Therefore, I'm asking you for a favor. During the upcoming Moon War, please protect me so I don't get killed and lose levels." She tried to look pitiful while in her heart she was firm with the thought, "I must keep him." Ling Se still replied with little interest, "Can't you just not participate?" Hearing that, Tiana exclaimed, "No way," she thought wistfully, "that's too cold an answer." Not swayed at all. Then she spoke, "Participating in the Moon War is also a way to accumulate a large amount of guild honor points. I have my own difficulties too." Just then she received a notification. "A stranger has sent you a friend request." Ling Tu replied to Tiana, "Let's be friends first, I'll reconsider." He thought to himself, although she probably only stepped forward for her own benefit, it's true that because of this she got into big trouble. He turned back and said to Tiana, "Before the Moon War happens, I'll give you an answer." Hearing the answer, her eyes lit up as she replied, "Okay." She was very happy inside. Success? Watching Ling Su's back as he left, she called after him, "Remember to give me an answer soon. Even though I'm recommending you, you still have to join through the proper procedure. The guild admission assessment is just a piece of cake for you." Ling Chi waved his hand and said, "So troublesome. We'll talk about it then." Tiana pressed the accept friend request button and looked at him with expectant eyes. "I'll wait for your news." The player attribute information was also displayed. Player Ling Si class, rogue level reached level 5. Equipped with Essence Fire player personal information, age 17, Tiana was quite surprised. Only 17, 6 years younger than me. Looking at the section below showing undisclosed information, she exclaimed in admiration, "His hand speed is so fast even his friend information is hidden. What a not-so-cute little brother." While they were talking, they didn't notice Bai Li secretly watching from a distance. His face darkened as he said unhappily, "That kid." The system displayed, "Information set to be viewable only by me." Ling Che was still cautious. It's better not to reveal information. Seeing him come out, J-Drama Run happily greeted him. "The boss is back," Longface asked quite curiously. "Did that great beauty from Nebulous look for you privately because of some shameful matter you don't want others to know?" Anti-mainstream guessed, "Don't tell me she fell for your cool kunai-wielding look from before?" Ling Chia just replied coldly, "Still speculating. Do you believe I won't share the equipment with you guys anymore?" Hearing that, they laughed sheepishly. Don't, we were just kidding." The system displayed Captain Distributing. It classified the items into materials and equipment. He began to speak. Only the nightmare level of the echoing dark forest drops the equipment I need. The drop rate for this first clear of the instance is very high. We were really lucky this time. The Assassin's Cut set, I'll keep the bracers. As for the gold and item materials, I'll divide them equally among you guys. Lingcha thought to himself, the Assassin's Cut set will boost equipment attributes for rogues before level 10. It can serve me for a short while. I can wear the equipment at level 6. I need to quickly collect the full set. The team members' eyes all lit up. We're rich, so many materials. J-Drama Run suddenly spoke up. You're giving all the rest to us. Setting aside the gold, the prices of these item materials are also very high. Boss, why don't we just split everything equally? Hearing him say that anti-mainstream was unhappy. Split equally, Ling Chi refused. It's fine, I don't need the other things. J-Drama Run was still hesitant. Then he interrupted. By the way, in order to reach level 5, I adjusted the experience distribution and had to lower my own experience ratio. Everyone must have leveled up right. Xiaolan happily showed him, I've reached level 2. Longface and Anti-Mainstream reported, I'm level 4. J-Drama Run was also very happy. I'm level 3, boss. Hearing that Ling Che suggested, all right, before I reach level 6 we should clear the dungeon a few more times, until I have all the equipment I need. The whole group shouted upon hearing that, really? He instructed them, I'm about to go offline. Starting tomorrow we'll continue to gather here. They replied in unison, got it. The whole group chattered excitedly amongst themselves. We have a chance to learn rogue skills from the boss, and another chance to team up with a master. We're about to get rich. That's what they call obedience is better than politeness. We'll wait for you tomorrow. Remember to be online on time. Ling Chi replied curtly, got it. At 7:10 in the morning, Ling Che was also awake. He felt that everything had been going smoothly recently. The Tianyong Continent's scientific helmet allows players' bodies to rest fully while playing without affecting their daily lives. It also doesn't affect game progress. Ling Che proactively greeted the old man. Good morning, old sir. Let me help you sweep. Seeing him, the old man replied, you're up quite early. Afterwards, Ling Che returned as promised to lead his teammates to clear the dungeon over the next 3 days. Ling Xue's group would continue to challenge the echoing Dark Forest dungeon on nightmare difficulty. Finally, on the 3rd day before logging off, he had collected the full Assassin's Cut set, armor, shin guards, boots, helmet, and even had extras. In the end, the group of 4 made a fuss as they went their separate ways. J-Drama Run regretfully said goodbye to him. Goodbye, boss. As for Xiaolan, she was throwing a tantrum. How could you abandon me so quickly? You're such a bad boy. Ling Che left, coldly. There will be another chance to meet. Goodbye, you all. He continued towards his next goal, which was Moonbay City, a level 10 map. Ling Chu believed that item was definitely still there. He nimbly jumped down to the flat cliff below. With the difficult terrain, he had to tell himself, I need to be a bit more careful in this place. It was right here that Ling Che encountered the soul-seeking evil spirit. He looked at it and guessed, a level difference of up to 4 levels. A level 10 evil spirit, huh? One can be dealt with, but if I unfortunately attract a whole swarm of evil spirits, then... However, now with the high sensitivity and the added perception from the Assassin's Cut set, I can use the terrain to get through this area. My original purpose wasn't to come here to challenge the level 10 boss of Moonbay City. I don't have that kind of ability right now. The important thing is to get the Raging Waterfall skill book. He cast the evil spirit stealth skill. The stealth skill that every rogue in his past life dreamed of having. When he stopped in front of a boss, he was surprised to find, why is there a corpse of an evil spirit? Has a level 10 player already been here? In this game, if you slack off, a little countless people will catch up. Ling Xiu moved to the waterfall in front of him, easily moving across it. As he approached a chest placed on a rock, he realized, there it is. As expected, it's still here. This is the unlocked cursed treasure chest. Ling Xiu was still determined to get it, even though he would face a debuff when opening it. The system displayed, you have discovered the unlocked cursed treasure chest. This treasure chest seems to have never been locked, but there is a penalty. If you open this treasure chest, you will be cursed. Do you want to open it, yes or no? His hand slowly pulled the cloth covering the chest lid down. But compared to getting the skill, it was worth it. I must get it. The screen displayed. Treasure chest is opening. You are receiving a 60% attribute debuff. Cursed duration of 6 hours now in effect. A dark aura emanated from the chest. The system displayed, from the unlocked cursed treasure chest, all your attributes have been reduced by 60%. Cursed duration 5 hours and 59 minutes. Lingxi finally took out the item inside. He sighed in relief and said, "Got it." He decided, learning the skill takes time. I need to find a safe place. Suddenly a sneering voice echoed in Lingxi's ear. "I told you a fool would come and open the chest." He cautiously turned his head to look and saw. Behind him were 3 people. A subordinate said fawningly, "The captain is truly brilliant. Wait for someone else to stick their neck out and take the curse, then we'll move in to snatch the item." The quiet atmosphere in the instance was disturbed by their appearance. That captain spoke up. "We were waiting for a pawn like you. We've been waiting for days. Bring it over here and let me see what's inside." Why would it cost such a strong debuff? Lingxi mentally blamed himself. I got careless. I didn't expect someone would set a trap at this edge. Now I have evil spirit stealth. If I weren't cursed, I would have some confidence to fight these 3. But now with all my attributes reduced by 60%, I'm in trouble. The opponents are 3 level 11 players. Hand over the skill book, and you might keep your life. Seeing him silent, the opponent continued to threaten. A level 6 can enter this edge. I see you have some patience. I was prepared for a whole group fight, but unexpectedly only you came in. Hand over the item obediently. Lingxi immediately recognized them. People from the Wolf's Fang again. Based on the personality of their guild members, even if I proactively hand over the book, I'll still end up getting killed. Therefore, he spoke up. I say the Great Wolf's Fang Guild actually going around snatching items from players. What if I don't want to hand over the item? The screen updated the information. Item has been stored in the inventory. The subordinate spoke up. You already know we're from the Wolf's Fang Guild and you're still being stubborn. He drew his bow and arrow. Then hurry up and die. Lingxi activated backstab. The system announced, the opponent can defend against your attack. He decided to attack quickly. I must strike first. His dagger swept across the opponent, but that captain used his reckless blade to block it. Seeing this, Lingxi felt tense. My attributes are too low. My attack speed is also slow. Seeing that, he sneered, You still dare to initiate an attack? His dagger swung again, and the other guy's blade blocked it in time. At the same time, his subordinate fired a pinpoint shot to ambush Lingxi. Seeing the situation turn unfavorable, he calmed himself down. I'm being counterattacked. I need to calm down. I still have a few items I can use. He used backstab again and was stunned to realize. He himself had been ambushed from behind by an opponent. 120 HP. The captain ordered, hand it over willingly, and you can have a more comfortable death. A judgment-heavy sword swung over again. Spit out the item and go die, you brat. Here's a tendon break to finish you off. You won't have the ability to counterattack anymore. He felt the immense pressure. I can't let that terrible skill hit me. The subordinate had also drawn his bow and arrow, preparing to shoot at him. At this moment, he activated the rushing stream skill. The subordinate was surprised to see him charging towards his arrow. Are you willingly offering yourself up as a target? He released the arrow and shouted, Die! Lingao had cast backstab. Immediately after, he appeared behind the opponent. His HP was reduced by 50 from the surprise attack. He thought in a panic, his attributes were reduced by 60% from the debuff. How can he still hit like that? What if he wasn't cursed? Another subordinate calmly realized, that guy is continuously using skills to activate instant connections, avoiding attack skills and launching his own attacks. With such high-precision maneuvers, a small mistake would lead to failure. I can't do it. What on earth is this guy's background? The captain ordered him. What are you standing there for? Get him. He replied in fear. Yes. The one hit by Lingxi's move cursed. Damn it. The captain ordered. Surround him. Don't let him run. Lingxi took out a basic smoke bomb. He thought to himself, this is the only way. The system displayed basic smoke bomb activated. All players within the range will lose their sight. Cannot be targeted. Duration 35. In the thick fog, the captain went crazy and cursed. These petty tricks. He activated Area Dispel to clear the thick fog. A single-use grappling hook was also taken out by Ling Si. He threw the grappling hook upwards. The captain realized he wants to escape with the grappling hook, quick cut it. The subordinate immediately fired an arrow. Watch this pinpoint shot. Ling Cha was immediately hit by his arrow. His back was pierced by the arrow. It went right through. Ling Che gritted his teeth, memorizing this grudge. Wolf's fang. His hand fell from the rope of the grappling hook. As his body sank into the water below, Ling Che vowed, "I will remember you." On the cliff, the three were very annoyed. He fell into the river. Damn it. We didn't get the item. That damn thing falling from this height, at worst, he'll just bleed to death. The captain looked down at the water and said coldly, "If we meet again, you won't be so lucky, little rogue." Ling Che followed the current to the other bank. His hand slowly touched the stone slab on the bank. He struggled to pull his body up. Ling Che felt lucky. It's a good thing I came prepared for this just in case. I spent a lot of money to prepare instant recovery potions. Otherwise, falling into the river with that much health left, I would have definitely died. His face darkened as he uttered a name, Wolf's Fang. I didn't mess with you, but you came knocking on my door yourselves. And because of that, in Tiana's office, she received a message. Your friend has sent you a voice message. She immediately replied, "Hello, I'm Tiana. May I ask who this is?" The other side replied, "I'm Ling Che." She exclaimed happily, "You finally contacted me. I've been waiting for you for days." He asked her a favor. "Help me arrange to participate in the Moon War. I accept your invitation." Receiving this news, Tiana was especially happy. "Okay. When do you have time? I'll arrange the test for you." Ling Che replied immediately, "Right now." At the Nebulous Guild's assessment site, everyone was buzzing about today's assessment. A guild admission assessment. Didn't the last one just pass not long ago? I heard Vice Wing Commander Tiana only invited one person for the assessment. I saw the news on the guild channel, so I rushed over to see who it is. Just one person, It's not another rich second generation with both power and influence, is it? The other person replied, "I don't know. Vice Captain Tiana is not the type to favor the rich and powerful." Tiana had brought him to the place. "We're here." Ling Cha was very surprised. "Why are there so many people?" She explained. "After all, you're the first person to have a solo guild admission assessment. They are all very curious about you." Ling Ha walked in and immediately received the crowd's attention. "Is that the rogue guy? What, he doesn't seem special at all." He thought to himself, "Are these people so free? Why don't they go level up?" He sighed. Being surrounded and watched again. So annoying. Tiana comforted Ling Che. Compared to the nightmare-level slaughter kill before, the number of onlookers here is considered small. You should get used to it. She thought to herself, "I guessed right, it's him." Dira was very surprised as she observed him. It really is this rogue. He's also the one who got the nightmare-level slaughter kill in the echoing dark forest. "Oh my God, Sister Tiana. How did you find him? I invited him to join the guild before, but he refused. He's a talent. Since he's willing to take the assessment this time, Sister Tiana, you must keep him." Tiana had to admit, Dira was right. A talent like this must be kept by my side for my own use. It will be very useful for my ultimate goal. Bai Li, on the opposite side, saw Tiana's group and spoke up, "They're here." Bai Li, on the opposite side, saw Tiana's group and spoke up, "They're here." Bai Li, on the opposite side, continued to mock Ling Che. "Aren't you the rogue that Tiana keeps mentioning recently? Nightmare-level slaughter kill a bit interesting." Tiana proactively introduced, "This is the wing commander of our third squad, Bai Li. The content of the assessment is as follows. Behind Commander Bai Li are members of Nebulous's third squad in charge of the assessment. As long as you can last 10 minutes against the member in charge of the assessment, you will be considered to have passed." The group opposite suggested, "Pick an opponent. Pick me, pick me." Suddenly Bai Li spoke up, "Wait a minute, Tiana. For this assessment, let me be his opponent." Hearing that, Tiana was shocked. "What, Commander Bai Li, you don't need to do it yourself. It's just a normal assessment." He skillfully explained, "Since Tiana went to great lengths to recommend you and requested this assessment for your expertise as a wing commander, I must take responsibility." He thought confidently, "If you dare to accept, I'll make you lose all face. How dare you make my Tiana think of you?" Humph. Tiana was still firmly refusing. But the level difference between you two is 3 levels. That's not right. But Ling Che had already agreed. I'm fine with whatever. That made her gasp in astonishment. He said hastily, You're fine, anyone is fine. Let's start quickly. Tiana whispered from behind. Hey, he's a wing commander 3 levels higher than you. Why did you agree? He calmly reassured her. It's fine, it's probably not a big problem. In his mind, he was calculating, I just need to quickly finish this boring assessment. Their intimacy made Bai Lai burn with jealousy. Hey, what are you two whispering so closely about if you want to start follow me? He became even more determined. I must make you lose face miserably in front of Tiana. Tiana introduced, The assessment location is set in the jungle behind us, Ling Che. She put a bracelet on him. Wear this, Ling Chi asked in surprise. What is this? She replied, This is a device. Every guild has an assessment device. The assessment device will be based on your current level, current attributes, equipment, and your past activity records to give you a preliminary score, and during the assessment, the score will be constantly updated. It's a rather convenient device for assessing a player's level. After you put it on, I can see your score here. Our Nebulous Guild's rule is that less than 100 points belongs to the third squad. Between 100 and 150 points will qualify you for the second squad, and over 150 points, of course, means you're in the first squad. It will also be based on attributes. Ling Che revealed, I'm cursed, all my attributes are reduced by 60%. It probably has some effect. Hearing that, Tiana shouted loudly, What did you say, all attributes reduced by 60%? Then how are you supposed to fight? How long is the curse duration? He replied, Probably less than 10 minutes. It's fine, the assessment won't be a problem. Let's go. I need to finish the assessment early so I can go level up. Tiana held her forehead helplessly and exclaimed, Bai Lai got 92 points before. Please, God help him. Below the arena, an announcement rang out. The assessment begins. The entire audience was buzzing. Commander Bai Li is personally taking action. This match looks very interesting. Bai Li declared, The time limit is 10 minutes. To be fair, I won't show any mercy. Accept it. Ling Che looked at him coldly. Actually, it would be better if you went all out. You are a marksman. I am a rogue. Theoretically, the rogue class has the advantage. The notification also displayed, You have accepted the guild's assessment invitation. He thought he misheard and asked again, Are you treating me like a normal marksman player? You will pay a heavy price for that ridiculous statement, little rogue. Bai Lai took out the ice spirit bow. The surrounding temperature seemed to drop. Ling Chi noticed, It seems the opponent is one of the 12 agile archers. Combined, they form an ice bow that reduces speed. At this level range, he's truly a formidable opponent. His figure nimbly fired 3 rapid-fire arrows towards him. Ling Che used his dagger to cut down each arrow one by one. Is this Bai Li's attack? The continuous arrows made it a bit difficult for him to defend. Bai Li smugly drew the next arrow. Humph, if you keep dodging today, then I won't let you pass the assessment. Break his defense. An explosive ice hammer carrying a swirling force shot towards Ling Chi like a tearing wind. He remained unfazed, raising his dagger to block. The ice hammer arrived just in time. When the 2 sharp weapons clashed, they created a stalemate. Ling Chua tried to withstand the force of the ice hammer. Around them, the force of the ice hammer exploded so powerfully that even the surrounding onlookers had to brace themselves. He was still persistently defending. Is this the effect of ice? In the stands, the entire crowd cheered. Wing Commander Bai Li's aura is so heroic today. It seems this newcomer has suffered a loss right from the start. A newcomer. I think he won't even have a chance to join the guild. Tiana felt very worried. Ling Che, you just need to hold on for 10 minutes. Yet the score displayed on the screen astonished her. She was so surprised she couldn't speak. 85 points. The current overall assessment is actually 85 points. That's not right. Didn't he say? He was cursed and all his attributes were reduced by 60%. How is the assessment score still so high? He probably has about 6 minutes left before the curse is lifted. If he were in perfect condition, how many points would he get? Bailey took this opportunity to draw 3 more ice hammers. Ling She calmly dodged each arrow one by one and rushed towards him, which made him laugh loudly. Want to get close to me, just with you? Your skills are still no good, kid. Watch me shoot you full of holes like a beehive. Ling Chua silently cursed in his heart. What's wrong with this bastard? His hostility is so obvious. Instantly, he teleported behind Bai Li. He swung his dagger, still a bit dissatisfied. Being hindered by the debuff, even the attack speed of backstab has slowed down. Bailey nimbly dodged to the side. He looked at him smugly. I've been waiting for your backstab for a long time. The whole space seemed to explode in ice. Ling Shu couldn't lock onto the target. The notification displayed effect of critical counter. For 2 seconds, your attacks will be nullified and your vision range is shortened to 1 meter. He thought he was seeing things. Critical counter. I can only see fog. This is not good. 4 ice hammers shot out from the fog. Faced with this suddenness, he sighed inwardly. I might not be able to dodge this time. Seeing this, Bai Li laughed smugly. His explosive crystal arrow pierced Ling Se, causing him to continuously lose 90 points. The onlookers below cheered excitedly. The wing commander is so cool! That move was so beautiful! Only Tiana was very anxious. Ling Che, this kid, I told him not to fight back. Wasabi-kun suddenly spoke up. Tiana, that rogue, is he under a debuff? This statement made her stunned. She hurriedly asked, How did you know? He explained, Normally the attack time of backstab isn't that long. As a rogue, everyone knows this. Tiana confirmed, That's right. His whole body is cursed with a 60% debuff. Hearing that, he praised interesting, and then thought to himself, That kid has been fighting with a debuff all this time. Below, Bai Li asked him, There are 7 minutes left in the assessment. What now? Do you want to surrender? Your performance is not good enough. Ling Che coldly exposed him. Assessment, I think you're just venting your anger. Being exposed, he got angry. Venting anger? What nonsense are you talking about? He thought to himself, just need to delay a little longer, 7 minutes is enough. Seeing Ling Che leaving, Bai Li shot out an ice hammer in pursuit. Where do you think you're going? Do you think hiding in the forest will work? Don't even think about escaping. The onlookers exclaimed in regret, Are they going to fight in the forest? Does that rogue think changing the terrain can win? Then we won't be able to see the situation in there? Wasabi-kun led her in pursuit. Tiana, let's go over there too. He asked curiously, That rogue, do you know how long his debuff has left? He asked curiously, That rogue, do you know how long his debuff has left? Bai Li was still searching for him in the forest. Stop hiding, little rogue, I told you. Don't compare me to a stupid normal marksman. Even in the forest I can still torture you to death. Ling Shu suddenly spoke up. Luring you into the forest wasn't for anything else but to avoid you losing face later. He followed the direction of the sound and realized, over there. His footsteps stopped at a place. When he saw Ling Che, his arrow was already drawn. At this point, Bai Li was still confidently asking, Not running anymore, the assessment only has 1 minute left. Let's see who will lose face. If you proactively beg for mercy, maybe I'll reconsider and let you go. The curse time was up. Ling Chi turned to look at him. I'm not running anymore. The notification displayed, Curse has ended. All attributes with a 60% debuff have been restored. His aura had changed. He said coldly to him, 1 minute is enough for you to reevaluate whether I'm qualified or not. Bai Li keenly noticed, That's quite an aura. Besides, Tiana was also about to find their position with the assessment device. The guild's assessment device is reacting. It's nearby. She looked at the number 134 on the screen in awe. Ling Xi's score was still rising continuously, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130. What it reached 140, and it's still rising. She had located him. They're over there. A single strike from Ling Che was launched, causing Bai Li's HP to drop continuously. The explosive, rushing stream swept through with unstoppable momentum. His HP dropped by another 60 points. He couldn't believe it. The power of this skill, how did he, just now? Wasabi-kun, who just arrived in time, also had to exclaim, so strong. Bailey, thinking he was tricked, cursed at Ling Che. You bastard, were you acting all along? Are you looking down on me? Then don't blame me for accidentally killing you here. The notification displayed, assessment mode has been cancelled. Tiana hurriedly shouted to stop him. Commander Bai Li, don't... But his anger made him lose his cool and draw a pinpoint shot. He shouted, Go and die. Ling Se calmly used his dagger to counter the opponent's explosive ice hammer. When the ice hammer was about to hit his face, he activated the backstab skill. The dagger was right at Bai Li's neck. but he still asked fearlessly, "You still dare to use it? Don't you know that move is useless against me, critical counter?" Ling Che replied coldly, "This time you're too slow." The dagger slashed a line on Bai Li's back to his astonishment. The notification displayed, casting interrupted. Bai Li attacked unexpectedly, asked countless questions. Why did his speed increase several times over? I'm clearly 3 levels higher than him, why? Ling Che's next kick struck, and Bai Li stumbled and fell to the ground. He heard him speak, "You just said..." The dagger was pointed down with a question sharper than the blade. "Who did you want to kill?" Bai Li gritted his teeth, unable to utter a complete sentence. "Ah." Suddenly his dagger was struck by a powerful force. Ling Zhao nimbly blocked the surprise attack. Wasabi-kun suggested hand over the dagger. This won't be counted in the assessment results. Hearing that Ling Che let out an "oh," he asked them coldly, "Is that so? What if you two come at me at once?" Wasabi-kun replied in surprise, "Do you mean you want to challenge both of us at the same time?" Bai Li struggled to get up. "You bastard, what are you pretending for? I alone am enough." Wasabi-kun observed silently, "Has Bai Li's defense been broken? It really makes me curious about this rogue's strength." He immediately took the challenge. "Then let me see if you have that ability." Seeing that Bai Li turned back and scolded, "Didn't you hear me? I alone am enough." Wasabi-kun's next words were like a bucket of cold water on his pride. "Stop fooling around. You can't beat him, Bai Li. We're both rogues, I can feel it." His aura. Looking at his skilled posture now, he still hasn't used his full strength. Seeing the situation was not right, Tiana intervened. "I think this assessment should end here. Wasabi-kun and Commander Bai Li, you two don't take it too far." Wasabi-kun assured her, "Tiana, we know our limits." As for Bai Li, he was still resentful. More importantly, how dare he humiliate me in front of Tiana? He also advised her, "That's right, we'll have our limits." He vowed, "I must crush you under my feet." Bai Li vaguely said to his companion, "Wasabi-kun, I want to use that move, follow me." Seeing him like this, Wasabi-kun was very annoyed. Has this fool completely lost his mind for the sake of face? Bai Li leaped high, aiming his arrow down and shouting, "Die for me!" 0-degree formation shot down with maximum power. He shouted, "Take my strongest move." Countless ice arrows shot down from the center. They centered on Ling Che and pinned him down at various points. He alone was surrounded in the 0-degree formation. The system also displayed 0-degree formation marksman attribute. The formation will form in 1.5 seconds, immobilizing all players in the formation and dealing damage with ice arrow damage. Deals 60 magic damage per second, consumes 120 mana over 5 seconds range, 9 men matter cooldown, 180 seconds. Seeing the situation was out of control, Tiana thought anxiously, "This is not good, it's the 0-degree formation. Once this skill is complete, I'm afraid Ling Ti's chances of survival are slim." Bailey ordered his companion, "Wasabi-kun, quick hold him down. 1 second left, quick stun him so he dies in the formation." Wasabi-kun also rushed forward eagerly. "Let me see you rogue what other way you have to deal with 2 opponents of higher level." He activated Backstab. The move he just unleashed was Murky Water Sting, which is also a backstab. He said confidently to him, "Sorry, my friend." Tiana grew even more fearful. It's over. Even though Wasabi-kun is just in charge, he's also an unparalleled rogue of the 3rd squad. His movement and maneuvers are such that most rogues from the 2nd squad feel they can't compare. "As expected, you were too arrogant, Ling Chi." Bai Li, observing from afar, mistakenly praised, "Well done, Wasabi-kun. Quick, get out of the formation's range." Wasabi-kun reported back, "Something's not right." He thought to himself, "It feels like I stabbed cotton." Seeing Ling Che's figure disintegrate in front of him, he shouted, "Not right!" His whole body exuded a dark, terrifying aura. Wasabi-kun exclaimed, "I took the bait." The notification reminded him, "You have fallen into a state of fear. Your body is out of control for 2 seconds." Tiana still didn't understand what happened. She said worriedly, "The formation is about to complete." As for Bai Li, he stared blankly at the scene before him. "It's over." Wasabi-kun thought helplessly, "It's too late." Wasabi-kun thought helplessly, "It's too late." He himself was the one trapped in the formation. His HP was continuously being deducted by 240 points. Bai Li was very confused. Wasabi-kun is trapped in the formation space. Damn it, how did that rogue disappear? Suddenly his voice echoed in his ear. It's a good thing I learned that skill before coming here. Ling Xiu's dagger was right at his neck. He even kindly advised, this 0-degree formation move next time. Remember to immobilize the opponent first so you don't fail. He, being ambushed, asked in horror, since when were you? Ling Xiu glanced at him annoyed. Do I have an obligation to report to you ridiculous? He thought to himself, while they wanted to attack together for safety, I used evil spirit stealth. What they attacked was just the evil spirit substitute I created. Evil spirit. Stealth creates an evil spirit body at the location, and the user's real body becomes invisible. An opponent approaching the evil spirit will fall into a state of fear for 2 seconds. The user will be invisible for 3 seconds. The special effect of attacking after stealth, including skills, increases critical damage by 300%, consumes 96 mana 300-second cooldown. Tiana was also very impressed. What kind of skill is that? So powerful. But the immediate task was to stop him. Ling Qi, stop it, Commander Bai Li. You've seen Ling Qi's technical skills now. The assessment should be considered passed right. He said unwillingly, this matter. Suddenly, a voice rang out. The assessment is not over yet. The notification displayed, Skill 0-degree formation has ended. Bai Li looked at the blurry figure of Wasabi-kun in the smoke and hesitated. Wasabi-kun, is that? A prominent badge pinned on his chest lit up. Wasabi-kun had obtained it from a dungeon. He stepped out full of vigor. I originally planned to use this when climbing the arena ranks. However, I think you are more worthy of me bringing it out for a challenge. 5 seconds. Information about the item was also updated. Force break equipment item dropped in a dungeon. Single-use consumable item, no level requirement for use. Effect, gain an additional 90% attribute bonus for 15 seconds. Items with the same effect cannot stack. Item usage interval 3 natural days. He pointed his dagger at him. Show me your strongest power. Ling Xiu also spoke up comfortably. It seems you are very interested in me. His dagger had moved. Bai Li was the first to be taken down by him. 300% critical hit. Tiana worriedly ran to where he was lying flat on the ground. Commander Bai Li, Ling Qi reminded her, don't worry, I just used a critical skill to knock him out. Move him to the side. He sighed inwardly. To determine who's stronger, I had to go all out. What nostalgia. I've had this kind of feeling countless times in my past life. Constantly struggling to grow. The Proof of Glory item began to activate. Its formidable power gradually emanated. On the other side, Tiana looked at the device's screen in surprise. Next to her was Bai Li, tied up tightly. She looked at the board with disbelief in her eyes. Watching the numbers continuously changing on the screen from 160 up to 300, she exclaimed in astonishment, Is this machine broken? Why is the assessment score? What on earth happened? What's the situation? On the other side, Ling Che was facing Wasabi-kun. He declared, 15 seconds, just as you wished. In his past life, the previous Ling Che had to struggle among the countless masters of the Tianyong continent. Fighting countless times for his last remaining belief and dignity, fighting for honor, determined to go all out to decide the winner. That kind of mood encouraged him to constantly move forward. Today, at this moment, the opponent in front of him reawakened those past memories. This aura seemed to be awakening something. A hard-to-describe passion surged within me, its awakening once again. Wasabi-kun became even more certain. That look in your eyes makes me even more sure that using the force break equipment here was the right choice. Don't hold back. Let me feel your strongest power. Ling Xiu readily agreed. Okay, it's been a long time since I felt such a surge of passion. His footsteps moved forward with the words, 15 seconds. Wasabi-kun continued, let's decide the winner. The two of them rushed at each other, clashing with great vigor. 14 seconds left. At the 13th second, Wasabi-kun had to grit his teeth to resist. At the 12th second, Ling Xi's dagger had swept across his side. At the 11th second, his next attack struck, making him panic. So fast, this is Ling Qi's rogue skill. He's very fast. 10 seconds left. It was time for Wasabi-kun to counterattack with a stab. But the opponent's speed was faster. Ling Qi's hand had touched his face. 9 seconds counting down. He realized he's even than I imagined. Faster. A kick went straight into his stomach. The notification displayed, backstab skill interrupted. Wasabi-kun recoiled in pain. At the 6th second, watching Ling Che lunging, he thought to himself, is he going to attack from above? Charging? He's really giving me a good opportunity. Ling Da remained very calm with his every move. Wasabi-kun had started to let his guard down because he thought, at this distance you can't possibly react in time. At this moment, he activated the backstab skill at the 5th second. In another place, a sigh of admiration was heard. How nostalgic that moment when Big Brother Ling Che led us to level up. It turned out to be J-Drama Run's group gathered around a dining table talking. Xiaolan also said happily, it's all thanks to him that I was able to gather so many materials. Selling them brought a lot of money. Now I can even afford strength-boosting meals. Anti-mainstream also acknowledged, without him we wouldn't have leveled up so quickly. Xiaolan replied, isn't our fast leveling now due to accumulating equipment from the dungeon before anti-mainstream turned to ask J-Drama Run, what are you so focused on watching? He replied, these are my notes from when I was with Big Brother Ling Chi, just trying to learn something. Xiaolan excitedly turned to look at him. Can those things make you as strong as him? He replied shyly, I hope so too. J-Drama Run suddenly brought up, do you guys remember when we defeated the nightmare-level Marshallord Big Brother Ling Xi's maneuvers? I wasn't so sure back then. During this time I've watched a lot of footage to compare. Now I can be sure. This type of movement and body technique is the top time. Xiaolan exclaimed in surprise. Top time. That name sounds so full of philosophical flavor. Seeing that attitude, Longface said helplessly, what on earth are you thinking? I've also heard rumors about top time. The so-called top time is when a player enters the game, a state that integrates with the game character, enhancing movement and reactions beyond a normal player's state. J-Drama Run replied, the term top time originated from a previous online game, and up to now it's a kind of realm that masters pursue. Or you could say it's a feeling something you can only encounter but not seek. Longface said to him, this is also just a rumor. If Ling Che really is someone with the top time, then he would make the impossible possible. At the same time, in the 4th second, Ling Che's severing strike skill had made his opponent unable to resist. The notification displayed, backstab skill interrupted. Wasabi-kun couldn't believe it. How is that possible? How could he react like that? I've increased my attributes through the force break equipment, but in front of him it seems... Even at this point, he still couldn't accept the truth. I don't believe it. At the 3rd second, he used the Shadow Clone Strike skill to attack Ling Se. But a punch struck him, leaving him completely stunned. Another severing strike knocked him backwards. The belief and hope in Wasabi-kun's eyes were extinguished. He was only filled with astonishment. No, impossible. How can his reactions be so terrifying? All my maneuvers in front of him seem... Wasabi-kun used a weak sting to block Ling She's severing strike. In the remaining 2 seconds, he tried to hold the hand holding the dagger that was stabbing into his stomach and said, I won't let you pull it out. Without a weapon, you'll have no other way. I'll make you pay blood with blood. His dagger also lunged, but Ling Che used his other hand to block it. In the final second, his eyes flashed with absolute ruthlessness. A kick went straight towards Wasabi-kun's stomach. Although he tried to twist his body to dodge, his foot still kicked straight into his back. Ling Che coldly looked at the opponent being controlled on the ground. Time's up. The time was over. The notification reminded Wasabi-kun, you have been disarmed, also known as having your weapon stripped. His face was filled with astonishment as he read the information. Disarmed in battle. If the weapon is seized or destroyed by the opponent, any attack or skill will lose the damage from the combined weapon. Only then did he concede defeat. I admit defeat, you won. Although it was bitter, Wasabi-kun had to admit to Ling Che, you are very strong. Tiana wasn't wrong about you. You've passed this assessment. Tiana instructed him, don't forget the day after tomorrow is the Guild Moon War. You must gather. Hearing that Ling Che left immediately. Since the assessment is passed, I'll be leaving now. I'll be there for the gathering the day after tomorrow. She sighed in relief inwardly. Finally managed to keep him. As for Wasabi-kun, he asked curiously, Tiana, where is Commander Bai Li? She replied, the commander. He seems to have taken too big a blow this time. He left earlier without saying anything. Wasabi-kun exclaimed helplessly. That's good too. Let him be quiet by himself for a bit. He's completely lost his mind now. Oh, right, that Ling Che guy. What was his final assessment score? Tiana was also surprised when she looked at the screen. This... She hesitantly gave a number 86 points. This score made Wasabi-kun silent for a moment. He laughed loudly. Bai Li had 92 points then, and I had 90 points. Ling Che actually got 86 points. Interesting, truly interesting. Tiana, you've worked hard too. Let's go back. As for her, she was preoccupied. Until now, I'm still wondering if it's a problem with the machine or if I've recruited a monster. She replied, Yes, I know. Ling Chu's final assessment score was actually 993 points, in a place on the vast, sun-scorched desert. This is the vast desert instance, a level 7 map. Ling Che was standing alone facing a pack of wolves. In contrast to the ferocity of the wolf pack was the calm demeanor of the young man. The red wolf let out a howl that shook the entire desert. They leaped up in unison to pounce on Ling Che, who was standing below. Only then did he draw his dagger. A single desert wind slash took down the entire wolf pack. After clearing out the wolves in the pack, he coldly walked towards the red wolf in front of him. Only you, the pack leader, is left. It could only stare blankly as he prepared to take its life. With a phantom shield flash striking straight down on its head, the wolf's HP dropped by 36 points. It immediately fell into a coma. Ling Chu continued to use Rushing Stream to finish it off. Each strike pierced through the pack leader's body, causing it to continuously lose blood. After everything was done, Ling Che sheathed his dagger and let out a sigh. As he left, he thought to himself, I spent too much time just to test a new skill. It took 2 days of grinding to gain just 1 level. For this type of mission, grinding alone isn't very efficient. As expected, I must have a fixed team. The notification also updated, you have completed the Wolfpack Siege mission. He realized, in this Tianyong game it gets harder to level up later on. The efficiency is too low, it's not good. After all, one person's strength is limited. Suddenly Ling Che received a notification. You have received a voice message from a friend. As soon as he opened it, he heard Tiana's scolding voice. Hey, where are you? I messaged you, and you didn't even bother to reply. The Guild Moon War is about to start today. Come over and get ready quick. Ling Che explained, I was doing a mission just now, so I didn't notice the message. Tiana urged him impatiently, Hurry up and come over, we're only missing you. He replied, Got it, I'm on my way. When the two of them arrived, a group of people hurriedly called them over. They're here. Dira walked over to greet Ling Che. Hello, welcome to Nebulous, Ling Che politely replied. Hello, Tiana then introduced. This is Dira, you two have met before. He asked with concern to Jingling, Is your magic staff still in good condition? She replied, Of course, the staff is still in my equipment bag. Here Ling Chu met many familiar faces. Tiana continued to introduce, Dira is my most trusted companion, and also a member of this team. The number of participants in the Moon War for each guild is limited. However, we are free to form teams to fight against other guilds' teams. Dira also assured Sister Tiana, don't worry. This Guild Moon War, I definitely won't let anyone harm you. Hearing that Tiana was touched and called out, Dira. Then I'm counting on you. You must do your best. Ling Chi from behind sized her up. The type like Tiana is liked by both men and women. He then spoke up. This is my first time participating in the Guild Moon War. Is there anything I need to pay attention to? Hearing his question, she just remembered. I forgot to mention. Let me tell you some of the rules of the Moon War. The Guild Moon War is a dispute between guilds once a month. Among the designated number of people, members sent by the guilds can receive guild honor points based on the number of people they kill. To put it simply, from the time the gate opens until it closes, whichever guild kills more people within a limited time will have a higher ranking in this Moon War. The higher the guild's ranking, the more it elevates the guild's standing. Therefore, the Guild Moon War is also the only way for guilds to show their strength. He asked further, then what about the guilds that are already very strong? For example, the 5 great guilds, won't they surely win? She replied helplessly. It's not that there's no way around it. After all, the strength of the 5 great guilds is obvious. However, there is still a method of survival that everyone tacitly accepts. Normally, other guilds will not proactively provoke the 5 great guilds, but will choose opponents of similar or weaker strength to fight. This is how they maintain and raise their guild's ranking, and the 5 great guilds will also stoop to bullying weaker guilds. After hearing this, Ling Che said bluntly, "What do you mean a method of survival? It's better to just call it the survival path of the weak." "I roughly understand now. Tiana, I have something I want to talk to you about privately." He led her to the side. "Over here." That attitude made Dira very curious. What secret is there that can't be said publicly? Another team member immediately teased her, "Dira, you have a strong rival to compete with now." After hearing what Ling Chi said, Tiana also had to exclaim in surprise, "What, you want to form a fixed party on your own in the future?" He reassured her, "This fixed party of mine will of course belong to Nebulous, but it won't belong to any specific squad. And you will be the person in charge of this party of mine. I will find and select the members myself. After joining, they will take the guild assessment later." How about it? She realized. Isn't this asking me to be the manager? At this point, she finally spoke up. However, there has never been an exception for this before. She was still hesitant. "Does Ling Che want to create a powerful party? If I am the one in charge, perhaps it could bring me unprecedented achievements." "Who knows?" she asked curiously. "Have you thought it through to do it like this? Do you already have people to choose?" Ling Che asked for her opinion. "I just had this thought today. Who do you think I can recruit? Although this game has many talented people, it's not that simple to get them to join," Tiana assured. "As long as you join the guild, I will do my best to cooperate with you. I've promised you this before. Therefore, with my status as the vice-wing commander of the 3rd squad, I can fight for this condition for you. However, you have to promise me not to betray me." Ling Che replied, "I'm not the type of person without integrity." After speaking, he froze when a sudden situation occurred. A young boy asked to join the team. He vowed, "I won't hold you all back. Let me join your party." "Please, I will try my best. I will definitely tank as much damage as possible." 2 other members in the group sighed at the young boy. "Ryuko Zong, I should be the one begging you. Please spare us. The other parties have also rejected you, right? You shouldn't be participating in the Moon War at all. With your strength, aren't you just looking for a place to die?" Ryuko Zong earnestly begged them, I tried so hard to get the chance to participate in the Moon War. Please let me join. Without a party, I'll lose my eligibility to participate in the Moon War. Please." Ling Chua doubtfully asked Tian, "Ryuko Zong Nebulous even accepts kids." She explained, "That kid desperately wants to become a great meat shield warrior." He took the assessment more than 10 times. Later, seeing that he was really too persistent, I let him pass to let him practice. I remember his name is Ryuko Zong. Hearing that, Ling Che turned back in shock and asked, "What did you say his name was?" Tiana repeated, "The boy's name is Ryuko Zong." She felt very surprised. Why is he so agitated? As for Ling Che, he realized Ryuko Zong. I remember this name. The 6 great holy shields of my past life. The name of that divine mountain was Ryuko Zong. This little beastman's name, could it really be him? The other 2 members were still persuading him. "Ryuko Zong, it's not that I don't want to help you. It's just that your presence will drag the team down. In the previous guild activities, your teammates in that party all ranked first from the bottom." Hearing him ramble, another person reminded, "Let's go, the Moon War is about to start. Time's up, don't bother with him anymore." Some things can't be made up for with effort alone. These words, like salt on a wound, made Ryuko Zong even more heartbroken. He finally managed to say, but the other person stopped him. "You know your own strength well enough, don't drag us down." Just as Ryuko Zong was about to accept the fact that he was rejected again, Ling Chua spoke up. "I have no opinion on what you all said, but I feel that effort is what gives meaning, isn't it? Ryuko Zong." The other person, being interrupted by him, asked in surprise, "Aren't you that new guy? What gives you the right to speak here?" Ling Che ignored what he said and extended his hand to invite Ryuko Zong. "Come on, do you want to join my party?" Perhaps even Ling Che couldn't have guessed that today's invitation would be the beginning of Tianyong's first legendary party, which countless people would madly admire in the future. The Moon War also began with the resounding sound of the horn. The horn has sounded. All the parties were ready with great vigor because the Moon War had begun. Infinite holy relic, the massive battlefield of the Guild Moon War. This is an independent space reeking of blood. In this lawless battlefield of guilds, killing honor points rankings and guild glory are everything here when the gates open. When the gates open, the warriors of each guild will arrive at the place with the signal to wait for battle. The gatekeeper was ready to beat the drum to signal the Moon War. When the drum sounded, it signaled that this chaotic battle had begun. The treacherous canyon also gradually split apart. Tiana's group immediately rushed towards the first target. Ryuko Zong asked the group, "Is the simulated terrain of the infinite ruins a canyon? The people from the other guilds have all found places to hide." Dira also reminded, "Everyone stick close together. Don't split up to fight." They agreed. Got it. Ling Che discussed with Tiana. "It seems the strategy of most players is to find a safe spot. Don't underestimate the enemy. Let's also go forward to find a safe place to hide." She secretly hoped, "Let Ling Che be the captain of our small team. I hope my judgment is correct, although I just want him to protect himself safely. But I want to see more of his potential." On the sheer cliffs, the air everywhere was thick with a dark aura. The group of players trying to hold on to the cliff had been dealt with by Bai Li's group. Wasabi-kun reported back, "The last one has been dealt with." The other members all flattered Bai Li. "It's really most convenient to follow Commander Bai Li and Big Brother Wasabi-kun. That's right. These few weak guilds running into our guild is really unlucky for them." Hearing that, Bai Li just coldly exclaimed, "Is that so?" Wasabi-kun keenly noticed, it seems Bai Li still hasn't gotten over that blow. If he keeps worrying about the fight with Ling Chi, perhaps his level will never break through. On the contrary, I'm really looking forward to the next encounter with Ling Chi to see how much I can improve. Another member remembered, "Oh, right, Commander Bai Li. Why are you so insistent on coming to this position? I thought you had arranged to meet with other teams from our guild here." Hearing that, Wasabi-kun became suspicious. He's right. I've never heard of Bai Li having any planned strategy. Why is he so insistent on coming here? Looking at his gloomy face, Wasabi-kun felt something was strange. Suddenly, a strange aura surrounded them. Wasabi-kun realized, "Is this magic?" Another member also said with difficulty, "I can't move. Have we been ambushed?" Just then, a loud laugh rang out, stunning Wasabi-kun. "That's right, you've been ambushed. What you were hit by is my body-binding skill." "Well done, Bai Li. As long as you sacrifice 3 teammates, the assessment will be considered passed." Wasabi-kun angrily questioned him. "Bai Li, what is the meaning of this?" But he only heard Roger give the order, "Go," and Bai Li obediently replied, "Yes." Screams of pain echoed throughout the cliff. Roger requested, "Now, as long as you provide the location of that woman, you can join the Wolf's Fang." He immediately agreed. "No problem." Wasabi-kun couldn't believe it, and asked, "Bai Li, are you going to betray the guild, betray us?" Lang Yue immediately sneered, "Don't be so nosy, little brother. The next one will be you." Bai Li hurriedly stopped her. "Wait, this guy is my friend. I want to join the Wolf's Fang with him." The Vice-Wing commander asked darkly, "Why didn't I hear you wanted to bring someone else along before?" "But it's fine. Then spare his life." He looked at his teammate apologetically. "Don't blame me, Wasabi-kun. I can't swallow that anger. That Ling Che and Tiana in this Moon War, I'll make them pay a heavy price," Wasabi-kun soberly reminded. "You are betraying Nebulous and using the disclosure of Tiana's location as a condition to gain eligibility to join the Wolf's Fang." "You're truly trash," he replied loudly. "What I can't have, no one else can either. That dog couple must die together." "Wasabi-kun, I know you'll understand me. Following me to the Wolf's Fang to develop what's not to like." Seeing them like this, Roger sneered. "What an interesting farce." The system reminded, "You have a call invitation." Roger reminded her, "How is it, have you found the location I sent you yet?" Lang Yue reported back, Found it, Roger." She cheered happily. "Great, quick, torture them properly. Wait for that bitch to respawn, then continue to hunt her down. Don't show any mercy." The Vice-Wing commander also assured Bai Li, "Don't get agitated. I've already arranged for 5 agile rogues from the Wolf's Fang's 3rd squad. It's enough for that bitch Tiana to handle. It's all thanks to you providing your teammate's location that I know Tiana's specific location by Lee. Lang Yue interrupted him. Roger, listen to me first. The situation is not good. He asked, "What's wrong?" The information displayed on the screen stunned him. The person on the other end of the call reported back, "Roger, why didn't you tell us that next to that mage, Tiana, there's such a terrifying bodyguard?" Roger exclaimed curiously, "Bodyguard? What on earth are you talking about?" He was hiding in a corner and recounted, "Right now, I can only hide in a corner to call you. There's a white-haired rogue who is abnormally strong." Roger found it very strange. "Why do you have to hide to call us?" He immediately reminded, "You're too loud." The other side hurriedly inquired, "What on earth is the situation on your end?" The information transmitted back stunned Roger. 3 minutes. Our small team of 5 was killed by that one rogue, leaving only me. Wasabi-kun immediately realized it's Ling Che, but Lang Yue still didn't believe it. 1 rogue against 4 rogues? How is that possible? Stop joking. Wasabi-kun silently prayed, "Tiana's safety is all up to you." That guy hurriedly asked for instructions. "Vice Commander, my 4 teammates haven't respawned yet. How about I retreat first?" Suddenly a voice echoed in his ear. "So you're here." This sound was like a demon claiming a soul, making him freeze. Ling Che requested, "Can you let me say a few words to your Vice Commander?" Looking at the dark aura he was exuding, he couldn't resist. Ling Che's face shone with cruelty. 10 minutes earlier, Ling Chi's group was still hurriedly looking for a safe shelter. Dira's voice, full of worry, rang out, Have we run a bit too far? Do you have a specific location?" Another member also agreed. "That's right. Do we need to run this far? It's like we're scared to death." Ryuko Zong confidently reassured them, It's fine. Even if someone comes, I can stand right in front of everyone for you to attack." Hearing that, Jingling anxiously told him, "Ryuko Zong, don't force yourself. Look at your equipment attributes. If there's a fight, just remember to hide behind us." Ryuko Zong smiled brightly and replied, "I won't do that." Jingling was still grumbling, "I really don't understand why they let Ryuko Zong join the team." Tiana also curiously asked him, "Ling Che, do you have a plan?" He casually replied, "A plan, no plan. I just want to swat some smelly bugs." This statement surprised her greatly. "Are we being followed?" As Ryuko Zong was charging, Ling Che used his hand to stop him. "Stop!" Another member found it strange and asked, "Why did we suddenly stop?" He looked annoyed in one direction. "They're really like glue. I can't shake them off no matter what." Tiana ordered the whole group, "Everyone pay attention. Prepare for battle." Seeing this, Ryuko Zong asked in utter confusion, "Where are the enemies?" In the river below the 3rd squad, a Wolf's Fang party of 5 assassins was hiding. They started to surface and discuss among themselves. They actually discovered our presence. Someone in their party has strong perception. We used instant stealth underwater. They probably don't know our exact position yet. "Big brother, we have the coordinates from the Vice Commander. They can't shake us off. As long as we don't let them find us, they can't do anything." Information about the instant stealth skill was displayed. This is a common stealth skill that relies on the surrounding environment to hide. Ling Kao's group on the bank was still very puzzled. "Are there really enemies? But we don't see anything." "They probably used a stealth skill. How did you find them?" Ling Kua remained silent. He used 8 directions eagle eye to locate the enemy's hiding position. The system reminded 8 directions eagle eye is like the sharp eyes of a hawk able to track hidden units within a certain distance to improve perception for 5 seconds. And it can see through the enemy's movements. He reported to the group, "Found them. They're in the water." The 5 assassins also surfaced. "We've been discovered that rogue has some kind of peeping eye skill." The leader of that group ordered, "Most of their levels are low. Just deal with the low-level ones first." They leaped out of the water in unison. "Go!" All the assassins shouted in unison with great vigor. Ling Tu rushed forward alone to block them and instructed, "Everyone stay back and defend well. They might have other intentions." Tiana also worriedly reminded him, "Ling Che, you must be careful." The captain, seeing him charge alone, sneered, "Only a level 7 rogue dares to fight one of you. Come with me." The other three go slit the throat of the mage opposite. Remember to avoid the warrior. Dira realized, they are the assassin party from the Wolf's Fang's 3rd squad. They are a group of professional assassins. Ryukozong had used his shield to protect his teammates. "Don't be afraid. You'll have to step over my dead body first." 2 assassins simultaneously used backstab and soul strike to attack Ling Si. But when the evil spirit stealth that Ling Che used dissipated, the captain realized, a substitute, where is he? The fear skill was cast by Ling Che. The 2 assassins froze. They were immediately plunged into a feeling of fear, unable to move their bodies. The other 3, seeing something was wrong, worriedly asked, "Boss, what happened over there?" "Boss." He had just said that when he saw Ling Chi's gloomy face. "Don't look around when you're fighting." A backstab from him caused the opponent's HP to drop sharply. Rushing Stream was once again used by him. Powerful strikes hitting weak points caused the HP of those 3 to continue to drop sharply. Ryukozong from afar was stunned to see the 3 assassins taken down in an instant. So powerful, Ling Chi assigned the task to them. "They all only have 1/3 of their health left. I'll leave them to you guys to handle.